The documentary on HBO about Mother God.
I haven't heard about this.
My
Oh,
God,
you always
it
bring
is
good things
so
to the table,
good.
Kinsey.
I love cults, first of all. Like,
Okay.
I am fascinated.
All
I would
right.
love to go do all the levels of Scientology. Not because they would actually get me, but because I would just love to do them. I would
Okay.
love to hear about it.
All right. And welcome back to another episode of the Dingbat District. I'm very excited for this episode with a very good friend of mine who's been on the show before.
Yep.
Shout out. Y'all give it up for Mrs. Kinsey Ford.
Sure, yeah. You sound like Henry. Henry, every time that I see him now, is if it's not found on road dead or whatever. That's what he says my name is now every time. And I'm like, that's not my name.
It's not your name, but it is her social media
That is
handle.
true.
Pew, pew, pew. Y'all go follow her. She's very fun. She's working constantly. And this is going to be a very fun episode because I found out something after knowing you this whole time that is just so randomly intriguing in that in college you majored in archaeology.
Or I attempted to.
Attempted to major. That's even
I
better.
I didn't finish the major.
Yeah, but
I-
imagine how many people are in that major classification that are dorks.
every
you're cool.
single one of them.
Exactly.
Every single one of them are dorks. Myself included.
You're more fun to talk to than those dorks.
No, some of the people in that major are like hysterical. They don't think that they are, and they're very serious all the time, but they are hysterical
They're
people.
characters.
Yeah.
But
Every single one of them, yeah.
I would love to hear more about this. So like right before we started, we were talking about, did you have any like specialization in archaeology?
No, so I never really got that far of like actually being able to specialize in something, but I did. There was specialties. I went and did one dig when I was actually trying to do this more so. And it was over in Israel. And the three things that you could do was archaeobotany, metallurgy, and then there's, I forget the third one, but it's with bones. So it's
Gotcha.
like paleontology, like what we were chatting about before.
Right.
But those were kind of like the three paths that you could do, or one that I really enjoyed because it's a lot of just like really digging in the dirt is basically we've got this the tell where you go dig in these specific squares, right? But then there was the exploration team which would go and find a spot that might have something. So you're just like the regular ground, you're just digging just to see if there's anything that could pop up.
Yeah, just digging for fun.
Pretty much.
I did that at the beach. I'm the type of white trash that when I go to the beach, I just dig big holes.
So you would love this then.
Yeah. This sounds like my path.
Most of it was like here's a big like hammer and you're just shoveling and it's like really hard ground and you're just like, all right, dig a big pit. We're going to fill it in at the end of the day. If you find something, you find something, and you rarely found something.
Right.
Because most of the time it would be like, this is like today's society. Whereas like the actual squares was like, we've already dug enough down. This
Gotcha.
we know what layer this is. We're about to go into another layer, like that kind of a thing.
Okay, so it was like a strip dig. Like you did it layer by layer, not just finding for something.
Pretty much, yeah.
Okay. So did anyone on these tells, you said not a whole lot of people found anything. Was there ever like any big finds?
Oh yeah, no, there was a lot of big finds. And so when you're at the actual excavation point, you're finding a bunch of stuff. You're finding a lot of clay was the main thing in Israel, or where I was in Israel. You're finding, like, I found donkey teeth, so you're finding bones, and then botany is plant life, so you're finding a bunch of variations of that as well. And you're just kind of looking and see, like, even the tiniest speck of dust could be like an earring, which is which was found one time where I was just like, this looks interesting, and it's like, yeah, that was probably an earring.
Oh, that's cool.
So yeah, the experts know more about, but when you're doing like you're going into like the today's society dirt, you're not gonna find much.
Oh no,
Yeah.
You're gonna find dog poop.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
but the ones that are like you're going in today's society stuff, you can find like the weirdest stuff. So normally on the regular stuff, yeah, your clay, your bones, your stuff like that. I'm trying to think of like a weird thing. Like I think someone found like a grave site one time, but
really?
like yeah, so you can find weird stuff like that. Yeah,
that's crazy.
yeah. So an unmarked grave was what. And then at that point, you just go, all right, we're done digging for a minute.
All right, now I've caught a curse.
Yep.
And I have to go find a witch doctor to say some funny sounding rhyme,
Sure.
and then I'll be cured.
Yeah, that would happen.
Yeah.
But we're just trying to prove what societies were there. So, like, by what kind of clay, you can say it was this period, but
Right.
yeah, that kind of a thing.
So, did you ever hear about the break they had on finding what used to be or what's considered to be like Mecca? Like, they just recently found a place in Jerusalem or something like that. Blake, could you look this up for me? They just recently found.
Well, there is a city called Mecca. It's in Saudi Arabia.
Was it buried for a long time? Was it lost?
No,
Okay.
I think. I need to go. I actually took Intro to the Quran, and I have no idea because I don't remember that far back.
Yeah, that sounds aggressive.
It's actually really fun.
Really?
I also find religion fascinating. So.
And I do love theology in that, like, I was always addicted to Nordic and, like, Greek mythology.
Yeah.
I had a really cool intro to creative writing and then just randomly, like, mythology teacher in high school, and I just needed credits.
Yeah.
So it was one of those, like...
So 2 + 2 = 4, yeah.
Exactly. 2 + 2 = 4, and this guy's cool, and I found out that, like, any day that we didn't want to study anything, if I brought up football, he would derail the whole teaching, the whole curriculum, and like, yeah, my fucking fantasy team looks great. And then he'd force everyone in the class to look at his fantasy team.
Amazing.
And I'd just be pounding people's fists in the back, like, yeah, we don't have to fucking write about...
Yeah.
It was cool shit. I was being a but, like... Our whole lesson plan was usually like, how is Star Wars based off of the stereotypical hero's journey?
See, well, and that's kind of nice that he brought it into more. I mean, even that's old now,
Yeah,
but
1972, that's crazy.
Yeah, but it's still like very much pop culture, right? So it's still good today.
It's got its whole. I mean, it itself, Star Wars now is a religion.
Yeah.
I mean, they're literally and figuratively, sadly, but people are such dorks that they actually. Like, go to Star Wars church. I saw this at one point, and it was crazy. Blake, forget about Mecca. Can we look up Star Wars church?
We're just going everywhere.
I know. This is all on me.
Well, no. Okay. Now I'm wondering, though. I'm going to have you look up everything. What is the city? Because there's, like, 2 cities in Saudi Arabia.
JediChurch.org.
Wow.
Jesus.
It's like Scientology.
The Jedi Church believes that there is one all-powerful force that binds all things in the universe together. The Jedi religion is something innate inside of every one of us. The Jedi Church believes that our sense of morality is innate. So quiet your mind. Wait, what? So quiet your mind and listen to the force within you. That is...
Speaking of cults.
I mean, I don't know if that's worse than Christianity, but that's tough.
I'll tell you something crazy. So in boot camp, when we're getting our dog tags made, they put your religion on there.
Really?
Why?
Just, if they do find you, like, dead somewhere.
So they can give you the proper
they can give you a proper...
Gotcha.
Yeah, but
That's
Jedi
crazy.
is actually an option
my
for your dog
God.
tags.
That's something you did, wasn't it?
No.
I want to
put
know what the
none.
list is, because there's probably several cults that are not on the list, or maybe there are. I don't know, but that's fascinating. Because I just watched actually yesterday the documentary on HBO about Mother God.
I haven't heard about this.
My
Oh,
God,
you always
it
bring
is
good things
so
to the table,
good.
Kinsey.
I love cults, first of all. Like
Okay.
I am fascinated.
All
I would
right.
love to go do all the levels of Scientology. Not because they would actually get me, but because I would just love to do them. I would
Okay.
love to hear about it.
You sound like in the same way that I wish I could buy an experience of getting away from the cops in a police chase. You sound like you wish you could buy an experience of getting through a cult
I
and
would
then
love
be
to.
able to exit.
Yeah, I just want to get out. I'll go in, but
I'll give
I
you
want
$200 for new books.
100%.
I just want to see how far I can get in one day.
Yeah.
And then get out of
and
here.
then never call me again. Like
This definitely cannot be an overnight camp
No.
because if it's
I
overnight,
don't want.
you're
I
over
don't want
many
to.
nights.
Yeah. I don't want to do an overnight camp, but I would love to just go. Not even like a full session. I just want to sit in on a session and just see what it would
sit
be
at the back of the class,
Be like
you're
a fly on
auditing
the
a
wall.
college.
Yeah. But they're not gonna let me do that.
Oh. It's
It's
even
great.
crazy. Like behind Blake, we have Once Upon a Time hanging on the wall, and that's so crazy just to think that not only is that just a very great movie, but it's so real in that Charles Manson randomly ran a cult on what used to be a condemned huge movie theater place to go. So it's known. Like everyone knows Spawn Ranch at this time.
Yeah.
And no one thinks they're like, hey, has anyone checked on Spawn Ranch recently?
Nah. It's
No.
just accepted.
No,
Yeah,
there's
this
just
is
a
what
bunch
it
of
is.
dirty hippies out there now.
Yeah. Well, that's actually a movie that I've never seen, but I need to probably watch it because I always like someone brought that up actually recently that
Right.
it was kind of about a cult, but I was like, oh no, it's just about Hollywood, and it's like, no, it's not.
No, it's about all the Holly weird behind Hollywood.
Yeah.
In that That's why I love Tarantino, because he's really good about taking realistic things and making it realistic fiction. Just like he'll change one thing and take his premise on it.
Well, and I keep hearing more and more stuff about the Marilyn Monroe and all of about her death, and that's also very cult-like.
Right. I just recently was told something about this, so I don't know anything about it. But Blake, is that something we can look up? The conspiracy theory on Monroe's cult?
Yeah, I've never even heard about that.
So, well, no, it's not. Okay, let me
conspiracy
re-explain.
theory,
It's more. No, there's conspiracy theories around her, but no, and it's not necessarily a cult. But there's so just Hollywood in general. There's a lot of lore, obviously, with Marilyn Monroe, but no, the amount of stuff about her death where people would have sex with her corpse. Obviously she's buried next to Hugh Hefner.
Wait, people would have sex with her corpse?
Yeah, her corpse was lost for several hours.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Really?
They lost her. So it's not ever been proven,
Jesus.
but people.
So it's actually like that scene in Kill Bill.
That might be what it's based off of. I don't know.
Where you know what I'm talking about? In
I think so.
The very beginning of
remember.
the first one, she has she's in a coma, and the guy that's always in Adam Sandler movies is randomly this guy that's coming to pay an overnight orderly to. What are the algorithm words? He's paying to have nookie while she's asleep.
Algorithm words?
Yeah.
Nookie?
Yeah.
And that's the one you chose?
Yeah. Out of all of the ones, you decided, let me give you a nookie. Yeah.
Well, it could have been the R word, which would have been much worse. Okay, that's a bleep.
Thank you, Kinsey.
You're
We
welcome.
just got demonetized.
Oh, really?
Nah,
oh, my.
not
I mean,
if
I
you
can
bleep
stop
it.
saying it, but I'm going to say it 3 more times. Yeah.
It's not even 3 different ones. You get a long one.
It's
Just
like
one long bleep.
Beetlejuice.
Yeah.
Oh, no. Oh, no. My poor little tush.
I know.
Who's it? Are you spawning it on me?
No, I'm not spawning.
It's like a
anything.
curse.
Yeah, pretty much. No, I don't wish that on anybody. But
Sounds
no,
like a really bad premise for Pokemon. You just call out that, and that's your attack.
Oh God, that would be a terrible attack for a Pokemon too.
It might win.
Okay, we're moving on.
Yeah.
But no, Marilyn Monroe. There's a lot of people were obsessed with her, right? Because during that time period. But no, there's a lot of weird things that happened right when she first died. And even the guy that got I forget what his name was, but there's the guy that got what is it called? So she's not buried in a crypt, right? That's where she's at. So the guy beside her is Hugh Hefner, right? Which a lot of problems with that to begin with.
Yeah.
Very weird. But the guy above her actually had his corpse laid face down because she's under him. So he's not head up.
It's a funny joke, but it's also weird.
So weird.
Could you imagine if he just imagine he died before her and he just knew Marilyn Monroe was coming in?
I mean, they do know that, right? So they bought it, I think, beforehand, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, it's one of those you definitely do prior. It's I bet, I'll put it like this. If my mom were to buy a crypt, she'd go there. If she did not buy a crypt, I'm not putting her in one. She's getting a regular hole in the ground.
She's going wherever.
Yeah. Or I think she's donating her body to science at this point. I don't know.
You should probably ask that question, because I will say that was the one weird thing with not the one, but one of the weird things with my dad dying I had no idea at all what we were going to do. It was one of those things where we just had to ask his dad, being like, what do you want? My granddad, what do you feel like?
What's going on?
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely need to ask her about that, but it's just...
That's one of the things that I always tell people is talk to your parents about it, because, I mean...
it's not... It's inevitable. They're gonna kick the bucket.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I found out I told my parents when I was when my grandpa passed away, so sometime in college, I was like, if you ever have a wake, or if you ever have a wake for me because I went first, I will haunt the out of you.
Why? You don't want to wake? What is a wake?
A wake is where you see the dead body.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah. No one told me when I was going to the funeral for my pawpaw that it was a wake too. And when I walked in, I hit the ground.
Yeah.
Well,
no, the first time watching or seeing a dead body is very traumatizing. It is. Yeah.
I in all honesty, which is going to sound really bad, but if it was a dead body that I didn't know, nowhere near. Nowhere near the level of shock.
Yeah.
It was just because, that was the guy that I always looked up at. He was the one that taught me, silence is key.
Yeah, Yes, stay silent, my child.
Well, I was an annoying kid. And he's like, shut up.
Okay. If only you were a woman, you'd be told that way more.
Right, 100%.
This
Or I
podcast would
would've-
probably be more popular too.
No, it'd just be a whole lot of dead air you'd have to cut, and our
Yeah.
episodes would be 9 minutes.
There would be no time talking. Just stay silent. Just actually, that'd be a fun podcast. Just watching someone just stare at a wall. Just like, I am here.
Oh, yeah?
I
Is
was
that a
told
fun
to be
podcast?
quiet. Yeah,
It's just like reverse ASMR.
it's cult.
It's a cult. It's a cult. 100%.
Oh no!
So-
Oh, actually, no. Back to This is ADHD times 10. There's so many topics that we've talked about already.
And we haven't scratched anything deeper than surface level
know.
on any of them.
I feel like that's how a lot of conversations go. Especially for me, I'm just like, wait, no, but what about that? No, but there's this. No, okay. I just watched this most fascinating documentary about this cult. I forget. It's like Love something. I forget the name of it. But the main leader is Mother God, and there's this woman, and it's
Right.
a recent one. So it's like within like the past like 15
Oh my
years.
gosh, yeah.
Yeah. She died because of the things of this what they thought, because it was all about like healing and love, obviously, and then God as a woman, and so she's the main leader, but she had several father gods that were just her boyfriends at the time. Like several of them.
This is Father God Jimmy.
Yeah.
He just fixed my car.
And
That's
then,
the
like-
only reason we
and then
keep
he
around.
would like leave, and then they'd be like, this is Father whatever, and like there were multiple father gods as like variations of it too. But she ended up kind of because she didn't eat food. She was a raging alcoholic, so she was drinking like vodka constantly,
Right.
and then she was taking this like silver silver is what she was
It's something with
ingesting.
blue in the skin.
Yes.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
so
yeah.
she was turning blue. She was becoming a skeleton, and she ended up kind of like becoming mummified.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so all of her like followers were just letting this happen, and like she looked super sick, but they were like, no, she's gonna
This is
ascend.
her plan.
She's gonna ascend. She's gonna become like greater than. None of them actually thought that there would be a dead body left behind. Like she
Right.
thought they were just gonna ascend, and
It was
that was it.
it was going to be like rapture.
Mhm.
Yeah. She was going to find some. That's wild.
It's fascinating.
And that's got to be around the same time as like, was arsenic? Oh, wait, no, you said this was recently.
This is fairly recent.
Okay.
I forget the actual time, but it's been maybe like 5 years since she died. Like,
oh my God.
yeah.
That's
YouTube.
wild.
They were doing this on YouTube. Like they were having scriptures on
They were
YouTube.
doing this on YouTube? And my getting demonetized? Are you fucking kidding me?
No, they had a lot of money.
Oh,
Well, it's like that chick from Smallville. She was running the cult, the
She-
sex cult.
what?
Did you hear about that?
No.
I haven't heard about this.
I would have
Did you?
joined, Blake.
Let me look that up.
Paxton's gonna get laid.
Finally.
No, they're like human trafficking. They were doing some.
I'm cute, Blake.
Yeah,
Stop
man.
turning me down for them. I'm open.
Oh gosh. No, but they keep popping up. More and more people, more and more stuff of just like, oh yeah, stories.
Yeah, I mean, and there's so many. There's
Oh
so
yes,
many,
no, I have heard about this one.
Yes,
Nexium,
yes,
yeah,
Nexium,
yes,
that's what it is.
yes.
Yes.
Oh, it's fascinating. You get burned in that one. Like if
Yeah,
you're a
they
woman,
brand
they'll
you.
brand you. Yeah, with
Oh,
his
like cattle.
initials. Yeah.
Oh, sweet Jesus.
Yeah.
This sounds like some Army Hammer stuff, except for minus the eating people part. But I mean, that was crazy. Like,
Yeah.
that was the first time that anyone was like, "We're just gonna cancel him for being gross."
I feel like we need more of that. You know, let's just cancel everybody for just like the
Yeah.
most random stuff.
Yeah, if
No.
you're not on stage, there's something I'll tell you back behind when we're not rolling.
No, you got to say it now. I'm kidding. You don't have to.
Ah,
Say it.
This is your.
I can always.
yeah, you're
Cut
probably
it.
gonna have to, because I'll drop the name. I don't give a shit. But
Okay. I mean, you do if you're gonna cut it.
fair enough. Yeah. And it doesn't matter. I shouldn't
Okay.
care. But
Also, no, you should. I mean, this is a business, right? This is the thing. I love gossiping. Don't get me
right,
wrong. I'm
he's
a
definitely
huge gossip.
this person is someone that would never come on here because I'm not gonna market for this guy.
Oh,
Like
okay.
it's that
That's
kind.
good.
It's
Oh,
he-
so yes.
yeah. I always knew not
You
to
hate
be.
the Asians. That's what it is.
God damn it. I love Brian Kim. I gave him a kiss.
Brian Kim is a good one.
Yeah, I kissed him on the forehead. I've kissed Brian Kim on the forehead or the.
On
Yeah,
the
no, I kissed him on the forehead and the hand,
Okay.
and then I kissed Diego on the cheek, and then Theben won't let me touch him.
Oh, okay. And
He's too
this all
insecure.
happened on Lemon Pepper, I'm assuming.
No.
Oh, okay.
No, this happened.
Well, you just named every single Lemon Pepper podcast
I did. I'm
person.
trying to kiss all of them.
Okay.
It's a
Then
thing.
you're going to be able to
especially-
get on that podcast. That's
exactly.
that's the goal.
Theban's like a boss. He's the hard one at the end
He's
of the
the
video
one with
game.
money, so
That's you're not
I'm
wrong
not
there.
wrong.
But oh yeah, so back to the thing.
Yes.
with the bleep. So
We just named the name, and then you're like, we're not going to talk about it.
yeah, that was an accident. But so
Mhm.
I had never been around him,
Mm.
and I made sure
Because
of
he
that.
left and came and all that.
Well, it wasn't even that. It was just I always like you looking at the guy. You can get a bad vibe.
Well,
100%. It's not hard.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
But there was one time he was smoking a cigarette, and I was smoking. Right. And we were just chatting because he was the only person there, and he was like, "I don't know why more women comments aren't just bookers. I'm like, why if you have a vagina, aren't you just a booker to get on?" I'm like, "Because it's
Oh.
gross."
Yeah.
Obviously,
I think it's because he wishes he was a woman that way he could a booker.
yeah. He wishes he can have as much sex as a woman could,
Yeah.
and he
yeah.
doesn't realize, A,
Mm-hmm.
he still wouldn't because he'd just be the female version of himself.
I mean, yeah. So he could get. I mean, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's one of those things. I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
Blake, we're gonna have to cut all of that. But
Yeah. Probably that makes sense.
Yeah.
Well,
It's
while we're
just-
cutting all of it,
it's one of those things where you gotta tell everyone.
well, and that's why. So the women in this scene, and it's blowing up right now, unfortunately. But the women in this
Yeah.
scene kind of have like their own hidden channels.
And I'm glad.
You're glad that it's blowing up right now, like
no,
that
no,
we're
no,
not.
no, no. I'm
we
glad that
still
y'all have
it.
your own channel
Yeah.
because comic dudes aren't allowed to bring that up, really.
What do you mean?
Well, not allowed to bring it up, but like if I were to bring up weird behavior that I saw of another male comic, I definitely get ostracized.
Maybe by the dudes, but I think the women will appreciate that.
Of
And so
course.
that's why if you do it in like a confident setting where it's just the two of you
Right.
and it's just that, I think that would be actually well received by
Yeah.
us. Just because it is one of those things where like we never know who to trust. There's always people coming in and out. There's
Right.
always new dudes coming in and out, especially.
And then
mhm.
this is gonna sound it is a little bit, but you know, it's just how it is. I also don't want it to seem like I'm doing that to get on y'all's good side.
Oh, true.
Because there are 100% people who are like, you sold this guy out so you can get in good with the chicks. I'm like, no.
Just never date
sold
the
out a
person that you.
rapist.
Yeah, just never date the person you're telling, and you'll be fine. Also, don't date female comics. Also, female comics don't date male comics. Just don't do it.
I was going to say, don't take comics in general.
In general,
Yeah.
yeah. And
Stay away. We're supposed to be miserable, and we like it that way.
Yeah, you're also going to be miserable when you date that person, and I know from firsthand experience.
Love you, Shiva.
Do we though? I don't know. Yeah, no.
He's fun to have around when he's not aimed at you.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Oh, thankfully he was at Twilight and not blackout drunk with, I won't say his name, but who was blackout drunk with us at Twilight.
I can name names.
Um,
It's Tony. It's
Yeah.
Tom. Okay. Yeah,
no,
Tony.
Tony. 100%. And I was just like, I kind of want to fuck with him because he's a blackout drunk and that's just my thing. But also, I don't know Tony well enough to where
Oh,
this
you
could
100%
go wrong.
could. No. I would say do it and then talk to him afterwards because you know what I'm saying. Like he's one of those people where like in the moment he's been pissed at me before,
Oh, 100%.
but then like the
He's
next day he's just like we're besties again, and I'm like okay, great.
Oh, yeah, there's no idea. There's no way he remembers anything
No.
that I said.
No,
Uh,
or even if he does, it's just the sentiment. It's not
That
like
was really the thing. It's not that I didn't want to shit on him. I was waiting for him to forget. Like I was waiting for the right time at the pocket. Like, all right.
Also,
glazed over eyes.
he is someone that loves talking shit, right?
Oh,
so
yeah.
Even about himself, like yeah.
No,
it's-
he was always fun. Like when Sharks was still going and I'd see Tony come around, I'm like,
Mhm.
yes, someone who will actually talk shit about the other comics with me.
Oh yeah.
Because I check out Kat's Kyle Aaron Thomas show. I'm on there on a hater episode, but apparently I'm just known as a hater now.
Okay, great.
And
I think you're more of a gossiper, right?
Oh, I spill some
Yes.
fucking tea.
Because I love gossip too, which is why I think we're friends.
100%. My mom took me to too many hair salons with her.
Oh no.
Yeah. So I think that's where everyone calls me a twink is coming from. It's like I just know
Oh,
how to
yeah.
spill some tea.
Yes, which is why I think women like it, or it's one of those things where like you don't come across as
you tell my
a
mom that?
creep. No,
Damn it.
Sorry,
Darn
buddy.
it.
Also, I don't want to open that door.
Yeah, don't open that door.
I don't want to open that door. Like once you start meeting people's moms, then it becomes like either way, she'd be like, "You want to come over?" I'm like, "No, I do not."
She would love you.
Probably.
Y'all would drink bourbon together and talk shit about
I do
me.
enjoy
probably.
bourbon.
Yeah.
Yes,
I should have known that, but because you give me mom vibes, my mom
I'm a
vibes,
mother.
not
It's great. Maybe that's why 50-year-olds keep hitting on me. Maybe that's my problem. I have a new bit about it because
You're calm.
it's such a thing where 40 and 50-year-olds come up and hit on me because I don't know, I guess they maybe think I'm in my mid-30s or maybe later or whatever, but they're like, yes, this is great, this is what I've been needing, and I'm like, get away from me. I'm 27, please, sir. No.
You've been what I've wanted my whole life. I'm like, wait, in the whole
You could be my dad.
Longer. Yeah.
Also, you're.
We lost Nicolas Cage again.
That's
Let me see if
okay.
I can fix it.
There you go.
Surprisingly, do very well in the middle-aged black woman demographic.
Oh.
Yeah.
Good for you.
Yeah,
That's
like
kind of fun.
even I remember one of the.
Nice. No, that's a compliment.
It's kind of cool. I like it.
It's not a bad thing.
It's definitely one of the things I put in, like, when you submit for a comedy competition. I'm this kind of comic. I'm a storyteller, and black women love me.
That's a good bio. That is honestly like having that as
I
the
definitely
end.
should have put that in
Put
there.
it in your bio. Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah.
I'm not going to get on Skanks Fest this year now.
I mean, were
shouldn't,
you
but-
going to
No.
before? I mean, good for you. I mean, I applied for it this year too. I'm not getting on.
No,
I know
it's
that
just-
already. If I do, then I'm gonna post this podcast and go, look at this. Like, I
Did it. We manifested it. Now,
Not
I'll just
happening.
apply to anyone that I don't have to pay for.
Yes.
Because fuck you.
Yeah, no, I agree on that one. And I'll sometimes do all the bigger ones, especially the ones that are a lot of money. I'm not gonna do, but I have
Right.
applied to festivals that are smaller that I do think that I can get on, and those have been pretty good. But
Yeah.
I've only applied to like a couple where I was like, I'm never getting in, and I didn't get in. So that makes sense.
Yeah.
It's
There's
like, it's not
also,
worth it.
it's not just free ones. Like I did the early registration for the Blue Whale.
Oh yeah, no, that's in
competition.
Oklahoma.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was $10. So I was like, I can
That's not-
I can
10
spend
is
10.
not bad.
If I spend 20, that's when it starts to hurt. Not because
Yeah.
it hurts my wallet, but just like you're gonna give these people $20 to not get on.
Yeah, that's the unfortunate. When a lot of people apply to festivals, right?
Oh,
Because
yeah.
that's kind of what they think is like their way in, which is
Right.
not a bad way of looking at it, but
And if you're getting a guy that's submitting from Seattle, why would you
Mhm.
take him over someone that's you've got 15 Oklahoma comics already on?
Yeah.
Get someone from Seattle so you got some sort of different vibe.
well, and I think that's why I made it onto a few festivals that I have been on. I was on the Aloha Comedy Festival. I was the only one from Texas that got
Where is
in
that?
at Hawaii.
Really?
Yeah, so there's a lot of LA comics because it's a hop and pop flight. It's a pretty quick flight.
Is it really?
From LA. Yeah, it's
Oh,
not that
okay.
bad.
From
From
LA.
here, it's not
It's a
great.
bitch.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, but no, that's fucking. When did you go to Hawaii for a set?
Maybe
the competition, I should say.
like a couple years ago, maybe
Really?
3 years. Yeah,
That's fucking cool.
no, it's fun.
I'm sitting
That
here
was
like
my-
reveling over the idea of like I'm gonna go to Oklahoma.
Yeah, yeah.
Or
Well,
Tyler this weekend. This is not gonna come out, but March 15th I'll be in Tyler.
oh, Rose City, nice. Yeah.
I got 15 minutes, which I don't want to tell them. Like, hey, that's too much. But
Take it.
Yeah.
You got to take it at this,
Yeah.
especially with that club because they generally pack out that room, which is great,
it's
and
a
it's
fucking great room.
and it's a lot of people that like. Okay, so like obviously a lot of the clubs here, I feel like most of the time, or my trend lately has been they don't want to really do crowd work as much, right? They don't really that crowd. You can talk to them and you can
Yeah,
crowd
because it's
work.
BYOB. That's
Mhm.
I think that's the reason I excelled because I went trying to get on, so it actually worked out, thankfully.
Mhm.
But I went to their open mic on Monday nights,
Mhm.
and you drive 2 hours going
Why
to
would
Tyler.
you do that? That's so long of a drive for a Monday night open mic. I'm sorry, not judging you, but judging
No,
you.
100%. But it's one of those ones that are like, all right, I got to work it in some sort of rotation.
Mhm.
Like eventually, I'll work that in with some sort of rotation with going down to Austin or something.
Yeah, plausible.
But
I mean, I won't even do comedy arena because that's an hour away from where I live, where we live.
oh yeah, so that's the thing is I'm not gonna drive an hour and for me it's like an hour 30
Mm-hmm.
for comedy arena. If I'm gonna drive an hour 30, I might as well go to 2 hours
Yeah,
and 20 minutes to Tyler,
you're
where
not
they'll
wrong on that one. Yeah.
they'll book me there
Mhm.
because I mean that was the whole reason I went
Yeah.
and it worked.
Well, I
but-
guess you could also, luckily with that club specifically, they do need people to come in because there's not a lot of comedy around the area.
No,
So
it's literally just Tyler Elliott.
100%. Well, and that's why, like, I know there's also Brandon.
I say literally, it's
yeah.
it's a bunch of people. Jason McAdam as well.
Yeah. No, there's a lot of people. There's people there. It's just like you need variety.
They
You
have
need,
the one mic. They
Mhm.
don't have it's going to take them an umpteenth amount of time to get their 10,000 hours.
yes.
Whereas we were able to in Dallas
you
with
can do
still
it every day.
driving. Yeah.
You can do a mic every day,
You
which
can-
is crazy.
I mean, I'm going to go on a Sunday night
Mhm.
and do it after this
Yeah.
because I mean, kind of worked out for the best, but this was supposed to be at first
Mm-hmm.
us and Chris
10
with a K.
hours of podcasting.
I
In
know.
fact, I honestly, I half expected you to just be like, and I got another guest, and we're going to do another one, and we're going to do another.
I know.
So much.
I know. I'm really burning candles at like 3 different ends right now. I'm so tired. That's why my eyes look like this.
Your eyes always look like that.
I know. I know. I haven't been sleeping. And actually, fucking Sephora. Hey, hit us up. I'll put on eye cream.
So is this just one big ad? Is that what this podcast?
I'm hoping.
It's just because I think last time you were like, oh, what was the water brand I just
Liquid
said?
Death.
Liquid Death. Oh, Liquid Death, sponsor us. And now it's like, Sephora.
If you'll give me a nickel,
You're-
I'll say like 30 minutes worth of shit for you.
You're not a middle school girl, and that's what their clientele is now, is middle school girls. So
I don't think
But
middle school
shave
girls
this
are watching
beard and
this.
yeah,
get
probably.
those.
I hope middle school girls are not watching this. If they
Yeah,
are,
don't.
you need to change your podcast.
Yeah. Actually, if you're watching this, fucking unsubscribe. Stop. Like, please, for me. I can't.
Everybody unsubscribe from this podcast.
I just go to YouTube and look at my demographics like, it's 14-year-old girls. What am I doing?
well, that's why it's.
I haven't talked about My Little Pony once.
Oh gosh. And that's why it's always so fascinating, especially like people, once you start getting a platform, podcasting, stand up in general or whatever. And I think that's why the whole Matt Rife thing, he didn't expect middle-aged women to be his demographic.
No.
And they fucking are.
And everyone talks shit about how he like crushed his demographic. Like he knows who his demographic is, and he wrote
He
a
didn't
special.
want that demographic at
No,
all.
and he needs to have everyone. Like you can't just have a demographic.
I think though, once you like, there are definitely comics out there that only have like the Latino crowd, or they only have the like the specific
The dad
women
crowd. Or
or
Bert
the-
Kreischer has
yes.
every frat kid ever.
Yeah, and so not every comedian is going to be for everybody, and
Right.
there are so few in between that are like that. So I think knowing what your brand is super important. And I'm at the point, you're at the point where we're both still figuring it out. Like I
Right.
don't have a brand yet. I don't have, and that's why it's so funny to me. And I mean, I have merch. I have little lighters. But when people go in and have like T-shirts when they're like a year, and I'm like, you don't know what, especially if it has a joke on it. That may not be a good joke in 2 years. You don't know.
Oh yeah.
So
I was literally talking about that on the last episode where
Mhm.
I'm at the amount of time where I'm not getting more time. I'm killing my times, like my sets.
what
like
do you mean?
I thought I had 10, 12
yeah, yeah,
minutes. And then I look back and I'm like, oh, I have 6.
Yeah, no, everyone overestimates. I just met a guy yesterday. He was at DCC, and he's
Talk
like,
shit.
sure. Yeah, he was just like, I just moved here. I don't remember his name. It just happened. But he was like, he's a guy, he came in from Oklahoma, maybe something.
okay.
I don't know. I was drunk last night. But
Right.
he
Good
was,
job.
yeah, but he did the good thing, which was come and network, right? Meet people. But it was so funny because he was like, yeah, I'm like 6 to 8 months in. And I was like, okay, that's awesome. He's like, yeah, I have 15 minutes. And I went, no, you don't. No, you don't. And he's like, no, I do. And I was like, I'm not gonna say anything, but no, you don't.
Yeah, you aren't Dave Chappelle, dog.
No.
Like,
Well, and that's, you can always tell like from someone's response, because his immediate thing was like, no, I have 15 minutes, and I went to my response was, no, you don't. I don't know.
yeah,
Nope.
he got
Yeah.
butthurt when you said that.
Probably he
Yeah.
got very butthurt, and I'm
Because
just like,
he
I'm
knew.
sorry, but
Yeah.
also I don't believe you, and
He
you
can
can prove
talk.
it, but yeah.
He can talk for 15 minutes. I
Yes.
bet.
Oh, I'm sure he
guarantee.
has 15 minutes of material. He probably does. I mean, most people will have, when you're constantly coming up with bits, you're constantly doing this or the other, but a good, like, solid 15 minutes,
Yeah.
no.
And without a fucking, like, if you rate it on 1 to
Mhm.
10 scale, like, you can't have, you need to at least have a 7 the whole time.
Mhm.
Like, you can't have a 9 and then
And
a 2.
most people don't have that, like,
Right.
in general at this point, so.
That's a lot of people that are at my time right now are catching with one joke
Mhm.
and then writing that. I'm
Yeah.
like, we're
There's
at a
waves.
point. Yeah.
Yeah.
We're not there yet.
And there are some, like,
Peyton Payne, like
yeah.
she's up there. She's
Mhm.
the dude at DCC right now. There are a bunch of people. Kane is putting shit on. Like
Oh,
he
yeah.
has. He started. You might have to help me because I think you were on it. Divine Femininity.
Yeah, Divine Femininity.
Thank you.
I wasn't supposed to be on it, but he had a couple cancellations,
Right.
and since I work there now,
Heyo,
There you
they're
go.
always around. That's nice.
that is the good thing.
Yeah.
So.
I wish that happened at Hyenas, but it was like, go clean the toilets.
Well, so Hyenas has like the regular
Right.
whereas DCC has so many of the like smaller clubs and very like anyone can kind of put on a show there, so
So
it's
that-
a little bit easier to get on stuff there.
That just gave me a question because you're here.
Sure.
What do you guys do in the women's restroom? Because it is a different kind of hectic tornado in there when you go in to clean a ladies' restroom. Like there's pee all over the dude's restroom, and I know that going in.
Yeah.
But there's just random
like
one
what?
pieces of square of toilet paper everywhere.
Okay.
Like you just tear off one and you're like, man,
Mhm.
fuck you guys. And like there's the jewelry boxes.
Jewelry boxes. Who
That's
brings
just-
a jewelry box to a comedy club?
where you dispose of.
Oh.
That's just what we called it.
Oh.
Yeah.
I got it now. Okay, cool. Yeah, got
the
it.
tampon tent.
Yes. No. Now I was like, who brings like a full on jewel? I had no idea what you. I was very much envisioning like a necklace.
Yeah, you go
like
sit on the toilet and pull out a Rolodex and like a
honestly,
fishing...
yes. I was like, who's changing out their earrings in a night? Like that's crazy.
I got here. Red velvet curtains. I need my ho-hoops.
That's just the Barbie movie. You know, they got to change outfits every single scene or whatever.
I still haven't seen it. Still haven't seen Oppenheimer. I'm not against Barbie or Oppenheimer, and I need to watch it because I just got the hacked Fire Stick.
I really didn't like either movie, to be honest. So that's just me.
Yeah.
You don't like Oppenheimer?
No. Well, also like it was just such a long movie. So I mean, I fell asleep during it. So maybe it's great, and I just didn't want. I don't know.
I thought it was one of the greatest movies I've seen in a long time.
Sure.
Of course you are. You're a dork.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
It didn't pass the Bechdel test. I'll tell you that much.
What is a Bechdel test?
You don't know what the Bechdel... You're not a woman. All right. The Bechdel test.
Are you about to tell me about my diaphragm? What the fuck is this?
Yes. I'm about to be like, oh, you got... Never mind. Fallopian tubes. So, no. All right. The Bechdel test was created several years ago, and it's basically just to tell if a movie passes this test, you have to have two main characters that are women.
Okay.
They have to talk to each other. It can't be about a dude. That's the Bechdel test.
Is Bechdel a person?
Yes, I think.
Okay.
I believe so.
How many movies fail this test? Because now that you said...
A large percentage of them pass this test. Yeah, it is a very large amount. Yeah.
The only one that passed this test? Ghostbusters, the new one.
That is true. It does pass the test. But there are surprising, if you want to look them up, there are surprising number of movies that do not pass the Bechdel test that are like supposed to be super feminist and super like out there. And it's like, there's a list of like people have gone through and just seen.
That is something like, this is a woman's movie. A woman is the lead. And you're like, she's the only woman.
Yeah. She's a damsel in distress.
Yeah.
There's no other women in this, like it's all, she's trying to get this guy's attention or whatever the case may be. It's like, no, that's not at all.
I always thought like, I wish there was, when I was growing up, I thought like there needs to be a chick that writes comics that doesn't write like, because at the time there was, if you watch Kevin Smith movies, there was very like Chasing Amy girl comics, stuff like that.
I don't even know what Chasing Amy is. I haven't
Oh,
seen
it was the movie that Kevin Smith did with Ben Affleck and Matt Damon and all these people. It was really good. You know, that might be a Movies with Dingbat's thing.
Sure. Yeah.
It was. Did you ever watch Clerks? Okay, never mind. Wow, this is apparently way more indie than I realized. But
no, so I'm pretty good at keeping up with movies like now, but going back through. Well, also my problem is, and this is gonna sound so dorky, but I haven't seen a lot of good movies because a lot of them have been like I've been spoiled on them. I know the ending of the movie. I know what happened in it,
or books even,
or books. My thing is because of improv. So I had.
So you've heard all the references.
Yeah, well, because you get a suggestion of like let's say Scarface, right? It's like I got to know what happened in Scarface, but also I'm 12.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm not gonna watch Scarface, so I'm gonna know what happened in it, and so it's like I don't need to watch the movie anymore.
Yeah, that kind of when I moved out of college and I was actually starting to read for pleasure, because if you forced me to do it, I wasn't gonna read. I was gonna Sparks
I get that.
But I forced myself to go back and read all the books that I Sparks Notes in high school and college. So like To Kill a Mockingbird, 1984 was a big one, but The Alchemist was a huge one. I looked up books that people often say they read and they don't read, and books that young men should read.
Oh, interesting.
And Alchemist was like number 1 or 2 on both of these
How to
lists.
Hit a Woman. That's the book you should read. How to Hit a Woman.
Exactly. I mean, you can't hit her in the jaw because you see that. You hit her with a phone book below the belt line.
The Male Feminist.
But Blake, you can't fucking clip that. I swear to God.
No, you have to fucking clip that. I'm in it now.
But The Alchemist was like the stereotypical story about you go on this super long hero's journey to find out what you were looking for it was like a metaphor. Like in The Alchemist, you find the buried treasure, or in the book The Alchemist, you're going to find the buried treasure in the desert under the pyramids of Giza or something like that.
Interesting.
And he gets there at the end. And the whole time I'm reading this book, I'm like, it's going to be like that he needs to go back to the life that he had before. That's what he loved. And that's the real treasure. And then I get to the last page and I'm like, you need to go back to your sheep herding. I'm like, motherfucker.
You knew
I've just seen every movie now.
Yeah.
Like, if it's not Shakespeare, it's been redone probably from Shakespeare.
Well, and 100%. Like last podcast, we were talking about 10 Things I Hate About You. It's every single thing is a Shakespeare play. But with the hero's journey, I think that's also why. What is his name? Who's the guy that created Community?
Dan Harmon.
Dan Harmon.
Oh, Dan Harmon.
And for him, I think that's why he popped off so much, is because he took a very different take to the hero's journey,
right?
Than a normal story would. And so I think whenever you can find that weird or unique take on things, stand up as well with everything, it's like that's what makes it interesting. And so
that's so funny that you said that, because me and a friend from college got to go see Tom Segura last night at American Airlines.
Nice. Everybody saw it. I swear to God, the amount of things on my TikTok, Instagram, all the things. Everyone's like, I'm at Tom Segura. I'm like, great. I don't care.
I know. I put it once on a story.
Sorry.
It's okay.
No, you can do that. No, it's just obnoxious how many Dallas comics just went and saw Tom Segura.
Yeah.
And they're yeah.
Yeah, it was bad. I ran into quite a few. I was walking around American Airlines,
so many people,
and I bumped shoulders with 3 different people from 3 different groups that I ran into. I'm like, how? That's 20,000 people here. Yeah. How the fuck does this keep happening?
Yeah.
And I knew one of them was there. I was like, I didn't even know you were here.
Actually, it was really funny. I messaged someone, and I was like, the first person I saw, I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. And then I saw another person at like the same angle, and I went, oh, they went together. No, they didn't.
That's so
like 2 rows behind.
Right. But at that show last night,
yes.
We were talking. You were just saying that the ability to take a different premise from what everyone else is taking is the key in stand-up or movie or anything creative.
100%.
And the guy that opened last night did not do well, in my opinion. Like, he had to cold open a crowd.
So this is so fun. There's a trend of that happening, or at least I've seen a trend of that happening.
Because they're just bringing their friends.
They're bringing their friends, or they're bringing someone that they know is not going to
show them up.
Yeah, and that's like from day one, I've always been told you want to show up the person going next to you. You want to like make it to where it's hard for them,
right?
And that's not what you want to do anymore. You want to they want someone to be warmed up, but they don't want them to do better.
They want that
guy.
7 the whole time. Yeah. So it was weird because he was just, everything he said was really relatable, and it was almost hack, but it wasn't.
Yeah.
But it was just because he was basically he was a mild-mannered dad, and that was just, he had the same experiences that everyone has. Gotcha. So everyone was able to like, oh ho ho, I'm ready to be here now. And then the guy featured ate a big fat cock. Yeah, he had 15 minutes, did 3 minutes worth of good stand-up, and then everything else was like, I brought a banana on stage. Isn't that weird?
I went and saw, which it's Ilana Glazer, who's not an amazing stand-up comic, but I do really like her. I went and saw her with Tom and his roommate Wayne.
I haven't met Wayne.
Tom Murphy.
Yeah.
Anyway, it was very, very fun. But the guy that opened for her he was just like, oh yeah, what's there to do in Dallas? And was like crowd working in this giant theater. I'm like, how do you get away with that? And he didn't get away with it. But then he was just like, yeah, I went and got like a salmon bowl, and then I got some rice, and then I'm like, you're literally going over your order of what you ate today.
You should be able to make anything you do as a comic funny.
It wasn't.
But know what's fucking funny.
Yeah. It was a lot.
Like, and that's why I liked Segura so much. Is because Segura and someone like Shane Gillis, they were able to make subtle comedy a thing again. Sure. Like, you don't have to be this outlandish, boisterous person to be a comic anymore. Yeah. I was never going to be a Kinnison. I thought Kinnison was fucking annoying. I am a cat. If you're loud, I immediately don't like you.
Wait, what? Is that one of his bits?
No. I'm saying I am like a cat, and Sam Kinnison was loud.
Got it.
I was like, nah.
Not for me.
Yeah.
No, I get that. Well, and that's what I'm also saying is that everyone has their own different thing of like what appeals to different people, and so it's. I mean, not everyone's gonna be a fan of even Tom Segura. Like, people now
don't like him.
Yeah, and it's fine.
And there's a lot of people, I've come across this a couple times, and it kind of shattered the glass for that expression, but also didn't. In that a lot of his jokes now are kind of, for lack of better words, uppity, because he does uppity things now.
Well, that's Aziz Ansari is a great representation of this. He used to be so relatable.
Right.
And then all of his jokes turned into, oh, I was hanging with Drake. And it's like, great. We're never going to hang with Drake. We don't know what that means. Like, He's like, yeah, I did this cool thing with Kanye. And it's like, Yeah,
I mean, like, that's one thing that Segura does well that I like about it, in that I probably will never be able to afford a vacation to Hawaii, he still made it like, yeah, I brought my fucking
Relatable.
mom.
Yeah.
And that dumb
And I
bitch
think
hated
you
it.
you gotta bring some humanity to something,
Right.
and then it'll be good. I've just now, so I've tried doing this in the past of talking about how my dad's dead in the past. It's never gone over well, and I think part of it is that I did it too soon, like too early in comedy, where I'm just like, this is
Right.
funny. It's like, no, it's
You
morbid.
took to a
It's not
story
fun.
before it was ready.
And I just did it at the mic today, and it actually worked pretty well.
That's good.
But I changed a few things around. I made it more relatable because like everyone's had to deal with death, but I made it less sad.
Right. Gotcha.
And I think that helps a lot. But it's one of those things where like Tom Segura's been doing it for 20 plus years.
Right.
He can take things and like put the humanity on top of it to where it's relatable to people, and he can talk about whatever he wants.
Yeah.
So.
He's able to like still find the funny in shit that we'll never be able to do.
Yep.
Like, originally it was when Dante was living here. He's like, yeah, I just, I'll never go to Hawaii. And I was like, you don't have to. No, and listen to the joke part of it. Like that's where he's talking about, his wife trying to go surfing.
Well, it's like you may not go to Hawaii, but you might go to a beach sometime. So you might,
yeah. And the relatable isn't going to Hawaii. The relatable is like your wife doing something stupid, but you love her anyway. She's like, you beautiful dummy. Yeah. It was like Bert caught a lot of smoke on Secret Time because he was shitting on his wife a lot.
Well, that's kind of what he does. He's like the family guy.
Yeah, he's the family guy, and that's exactly it. He's the mild-mannered. He always reminded me of John Goodman on Roseanne. Just like he's a regular dude.
Yeah.
He's the guy that's been beaten down by his not obnoxious is a bad word, but like vibrant other.
Did you see recently? It might be a couple months now since this happened, but Bert Kreischer was at the Hollywood Improv.
And Natasha?
Yes.
Whoa.
Oh,
Yeah,
I loved that.
Yeah.
I
That
was so happy about that. I was like, this is exciting.
Yeah, that and wow, Natasha, and good job, Mose, her husband.
Yes.
Those were magnifique. That was.
Did you actually watch it, like in person?
No. I just watched the video a bunch.
Got him.
Yeah,
That makes sense.
because Natasha.
Well, no, so she blurred out. I haven't seen the actual real one.
Oh, I found the real one.
Oh, you found the real? That's funny.
They are like to the extent where like I'm still pretty sure they're fake, even though
She
on
just
the
had a
podcast,
baby recently. I think
they brought that up.
Somewhat recently, yeah.
But
So
they are perfect. Like
awesome.
Like movie, like you go in and you see someone like Amelia Clark and she has a nude scene and you're like, yeah, that makes sense. And this person like, yeah, I'd love to do a nude. She should be seeking out nude scenes. Like, look at my fucking hot bod.
That's funny. Yeah. Anyway, I just thought that was like awesome.
And she did something that no one was gonna do for a long time. A woman getting naked on stage, topless, I should say. She got topless on stage.
Well, now you're just describing a stripper, but that wasn't the intent or what happened. But yeah.
But then she did something funny.
Yes.
But
it was just more of Bert goes up there every single time, takes his shirt off, and she's like, "All right, I'm doing it too. I'm hot."
Yeah, he's not gonna upstage me.
No. And that's what I also love about her. She brings the fur coat on and everything like that. And that's it. I'm still in the process of trying to figure out what like my character is. Like you obviously want to be genuine and stuff like that on stage, but you
gotta
leans
hyperbolize
into things.
something.
Yeah. And it's like I'm never gonna be the fur coat character. Totally cool with that. That's not who I am.
No,
but
you're definitely a. I'm trying to find the correct way to put this.
I'm a male feminist.
No. You still beat women a little, but only when they deserve. No, you're in kind of in the same way as Shane and Tom. You're subtle and calm. That's what I always liked about you. Is that like you have the observational eye to be able to say like that's fucking dumb, but you can also still say that's fucking dumb. You don't have to go, isn't that the wackiest shit you've ever seen?
Yeah, well, that's not how I used to be at all because I grew up in the improv world, right? Where you have to ham it up, and so I think I'm just now starting to unlearn that. And then before, like for a while there, I just went as slow as possible. I think it got very slow.
Yeah.
And now I'm starting to talk like I normally do, which is very fast ADHD, but now it's coming across a little more genuine on stage.
Oh, yeah, it's 100 like you went on I think 2 or 3 people before I did at the last DCC mic I did. And
was that last Wednesday?
I think so.
Okay. No, I really liked my set last Wednesday because it's
that was a hot crowd.
It was a hot crowd.
Oh, okay. So no, this was Sorry, but this was like 2 or 3 weeks ago then
Okay,
because
never
it was a
mind.
dead crowd.
Oh, okay.
And
Because last Wednesday I really enjoyed my set because also
no, you did great last Wednesday because
Oh.
I was I was soon after you
Oh,
because
okay.
I was on the back half.
Gotcha.
Of the standby.
Mm-hmm.
But 2 or 3 weeks ago, it was a shitty fucking crowd. It was, for once in comedy, it was the crowd's fault. Like, that's rare. If I hear people say,
It's the crowd. Yeah, you're always
fuck
just
you,
like,
you did bad.
Yeah. Well,
But
it's hit or miss sometimes, but yeah.
everyone at the mic did bad.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe it's not the crowd's fault. Maybe it's the third person that went up that killed the energy in the room that I wasn't around to see.
Yeah.
But they weren't coming back at all.
Consistently, it's not a good. Yeah, I get that.
I saw you do your first joke,
Mm-hmm.
and for a half a second you were like, I could see in your eye you didn't expect it,
Mm-hmm.
and then you just fucking went full Kinsey. I was like, oh yeah, you started doing your what you were talking about in that you were doing your ADHD talking,
Oh yeah.
and you had like looked up and noticed that someone or like they weren't responding to it, and you're like, nah, fuck you, and then you just kept going, and I was like, fuck yeah, Kinsey,
Okay,
hell
great.
yeah, because I mean, I walked up there and I
Mm-hmm.
ate a dick because I was the first of the standby 3.
Oh, nice.
So
At that point, everybody just leaves. Yeah,
and
because it's like honestly, that is a long mic as well. So the people that
They're
last
tired.
the full time, yeah.
and it's also a 5-minute mic in the actual mic,
Mhm.
so people are still fucking exhausted in that they've met so many different people that
Oh,
night.
yeah.
And that's if just they're paying attention.
Well, and so mics just in general, it used to be when I would go to a mic, I would want to kind of like listen to everybody, but it's a lot of the same, not the same material, obviously,
No,
but you see
it's
the same
topics.
personalities, you see the same topics, and that's why lately I've been doing more about my life instead of just like ideology stuff, and I think
Yeah.
that's been working a lot better because
Yeah.
it's
I'd love to go back to doing topical stuff because I was doing that
Mhm.
for a minute, and I'd love to get on like the this just happened circuit of DCC stuff.
hit up Barry, yeah.
Oh, but I'm still at 18 months. For me, I'm
no,
not
he loves putting like good. No,
really.
So, in a normal circumstance, I would probably tell you, no, you're right. Like, don't hit people up.
Yeah.
But no, I would say for that one, go ahead and do it. Yeah.
Barry Whitewater
Mhm.
is the okay.
Well, him. Multiple people own
Right.
that mic, but
Okay.
he lately has been the one to run the actual one, so he would be able to do that. I would say he would be open to it. I would.
Yeah,
assume.
it's
If he's not,
definitely-
I will take that, and you can come do stand up roulette, and we'll.
Oh,
we'll
I'd
call
love to
it
come
a
and do
day.
stand up roulette, but it was just one of those things where like I also haven't talked to Barry a whole lot.
Okay.
So even before I knew, I think I was thinking, isn't it also Arun's?
Yes, so that's why I'm saying it's gone through multiple iterations. I
Right.
think Arun's been taking a back step on it
Okay.
lately. I think he still runs part of it,
Right.
but Barry's been the one that like hosts it every week.
So yeah, even at that point,
Month,
before he took a step back on it,
Mhm.
I thought it was Arun, but
Mhm.
also I had talked to Arun, and it was like a hey, how you doing? Because I was the door guy at Hyenas when I
Yeah.
saw him, and it was never anything more than like he doesn't know my fucking name,
Mm-hmm.
and he's never known my name because I haven't been able to like.
Have
Hey,
that conversation with
He's
him.
never asked me my name, which is the thing
Yeah.
that I wait for. I'm not
Mm-hmm.
going to, hey, I'm Paxton. How's it? That's not me.
So, and this may be very bad. I shouldn't be giving advice. Let me just put that out there. Don't ever take my advice. This is what's so funny to me with stand-up comics
She
because
gives
they
good
love
advice.
I
She's
do not
just a
give good
comic.
advice. So that's why I always have to preface by saying that because I hate being that part. I hate the dudes that are like,
You
this
gotta
is
do
how,
this.
yeah, this is how
You gotta
comedy
fuck
works.
bookers.
And I'm, yeah, exactly, fucking exactly. And it's like, bro, actually, okay, we're gonna have to probably cut this as well. But
Do it.
But no, that same gentleman who you were talking about
Mhm.
before has come up. Oh, I pissed him off one day.
Good.
Because he went up to me and he's just like, no one's booking me. And I was like, you gotta stop telling people what to do because bookers see that. Multiple bookers have told me how much that they don't like that you do that.
Right.
And he's just like, what do you mean? And that like was pounding me for more information. And I'm just like, I'm not naming names. I'm not telling you this other than just stop doing that. And he's
Right.
like, no, but it's helping them. And I'm like, no, it's not.
No.
Like you.
And the only people it's helping are the people that need any bit of help. They're within 3 months, so they'll take anything.
Yeah, which is like some of the information you're giving them is probably very helpful, but also, and I've had to steer back as well sometimes because you can tell someone something too quickly.
Yeah.
And that it's the same with thing. I just talked about how that dude, I was like, no, you don't have 15 minutes. He was not ready to hear that, right, at all. He was not
No.
cool with that
It's
whatsoever.
because, like I was saying, he in the back of his head is like, I don't have 15. Because he's gone on stage for 15 at a mic or something.
Yeah.
And he's like, I did,
I'm 15.
even if he did 10, that was good.
But I've done that too, where
Right.
a month in, I'm just like, yeah, I got 5 minutes. And it's like, no, you don't. No, you don't. You don't even have 5 minutes.
You can talk for 5 minutes.
Yeah, exactly.
I've said that, so, like, people miss it, and like, you can talk for that long. But no, like, the only advice that I have taken or ever given on stand-up is, like, the mannerism stuff.
Yeah.
I
like,
could
take
never
the
tell.
mic out the phone.
Take the mic out, move the mic stand, turn your hat backwards so they can see your eyes.
Oh, yeah.
If
No,
the
that's a
lights
big
are up
one.
here.
Yeah.
Jacob was really early on with that, and I was really glad to, because, I mean, I do a lot of expression with my eyes because I have such low energy.
Yeah. Well, so I both hate, and also it's something that stuck with me, of one of the first shows that I got on when I was in Charleston. I got shows on early when I was in Wichita, which was great. But then in Charleston, I got one. And I was confident, right? I was like, I'm in a new city. I got this. We're doing this. And I went up on stage. For me, who wears now like a lot of clothing, it was more scandalous, right? Like you could kind of see my belly a little bit.
Okay.
And I got,
yeah.
But I got off the stage, and a comic that had been there for a while was just like, don't ever do that. Don't ever wear something that people can see that. And I just went, well, what do you like so-and-so can get away with it. I'm like, yeah, so-and-so is 100 pounds. They can get away with it.
Well, even at that point, you look great.
Thank you.
You've got a great body, but like it's just
wasn't fishing for compliments, but I appreciate it. That was me fishing. No, I'm just kidding. But no, it was.
This is just me knowing to be a gossip girl. I know when to just plug those in.
There you go.
But it's one of those things where like fishing. You're fishing for when you're on stage. You're just fishing for any other thing that'll get you to pay attention.
Yeah.
Like I've had a guy, and he was right. And this is gonna sound super douchey, but it is because I'm a douchebag usually. He's like, you need to stop wearing short sleeves on stage.
Well, why?
Because you could see my tattoos was the biggest one.
Oh, okay.
He's
I mean,
like,
I
that
have
draws
my
people
tattoo
away.
on, but yeah.
Yeah, but also, I mean, even if you put the mic in that hand, you wouldn't know it. Like, it's not something I have.
Something
people
big or large or specific,
I have a couple large ones, and you see, I got them to where I could wear a normal short sleeve, and you wouldn't see them because I want to be a professional. I still have to have a job because I'm not funny. But you could see like the tail end of the tattoo I have on my shoulder, and people are like, "What's that?" I'm like, this is not fun crowd work, you fucker.
See, and I think that was part of the reason why he was like, don't ever wear like a belly shirt, or don't wear anything that's like too much skin, because that's it. I was being self-deprecating. It's like, you don't feel like you're self-deprecating. You're wearing a belly shirt. Like you're confident.
You're not showing what you're putting out.
Yeah. Well, and it's one of those things where like, even if it's just a distraction. So anything that you can cut down. That's why I like to wear flannel on stage, because then it's like I'm very much covered, and like it's more of a safety blanket, right? Like I've got a lot of stuff around. Yeah.
Right. So. Yeah, and like there's just such weird small shit. Like I wish it was cold here all the time because I prefer a beanie on stage. Because I don't have to turn around.
Well, there's people that just wear beanies on stage. That's just
but I'm a hot guy, so I'd have to wear beanie and short sleeve shirt, and that's just one of my
things.
That is
a little weird.
And like it's up there with
hipster
jeans and flip flops. If you wear jeans and flip flops, I want to kick your kneecaps backwards.
Now that's a weird one. I don't know why you feel that way.
Hate it.
Okay, I'm gonna start wearing jeans and flip flops.
Women, it's different, but dudes.
Okay.
Because I grew up in the area where if you were barefoot, it wouldn't be weird because we had parks and stuff.
Yeah.
But like then you'd see people walking down the street barefoot. I'm like, what are you doing? That's so gross.
Well, and there's the trend, or not even a trend, just the TikTok people that are now like, I'm always barefoot, and it's like, maybe don't do that.
I've got spray on shoes, light and cloudy with a chance of meatballs.
Well, and I remember when I was younger, I had gravel all around my house, or at least a gravel driveway, and I used to be like, oh, I'm gonna build up my like so I'm gonna walk with like bare feet on that, and I'm gonna have country feet, and it's gonna be great. And then that very
you get country
stopped.
feet. Like I had country feet for a little bit, and then for like you don't walk on gravel for 2 days, and you're like, ouchie, ouch, ouchies.
Yeah. Well, and we had a guy in my high school that he built up his tolerance to where he was a cross country runner, and he would run cross country barefoot. And he made his own shoes, and like he was very much into that. And there were freshmen when he was a senior that like were really emulating
sucking
him.
his dick. Yeah.
And decided to do that, and their feet were bleeding afterwards. And I just remember walking to the parking lot after and being like, what did you get mugged? Like,
did they just beat up your feet?
Yeah. Well, or it could have been one of those, are you Megan the Stallion? Did you get fucking shot in the foot right now? Like, why are your feet bleeding?
Cross country runners are different. That's just a different breed. My little cousin, well, not little, he's like 17 now, but he runs track in high school.
Yeah.
And he said he was having to deal with that, like all the stereotypical shit. We were talking about it on the last episode, actually. He does the longer distance track meet races.
Okay, like the 1600.
1600. I think he did a 2400.
Shit, that's a lot.
Yeah, it was too much. Good job, Riley. But he's got to do all the fucking putting pasties on nipples and baby powder. Oh, fucking. And these people are out here running with no shoes.
Yeah.
There's a lady on TikTok that I saw that would go to the store and buy shoes and cut the bottom off.
Well, that's what I was talking about earlier. Yeah, the people that just want to be barefoot all the time.
Yeah.
That's
like people don't see that they're barefoot, so you just have a top of a shoe. You fucking lunatic.
That's so much work, and also you just ruined shoes. Like that is a problem for someone that loves shoes.
Yeah, and if you walk correctly, it's heel to toe, so you're gonna pick your foot up, and I'm gonna see the bottom of your foot.
Exactly. Something bad's gonna happen. So
yeah, I hope you step on broken glass. That's disgusting.
Yeah. No, it's not good. Well, we just had a glass break yesterday, and it was so funny because someone was like, "Oh, it's fine. There's not going to be anyone barefoot," and I'm like, "There might be."
Danny McGowan, if he's around.
Oh yeah, he's gonna step on it.
I hate that Danny wears flip flops at Mike's.
Well, that's your whole jeans and flip flop thing.
I just hate flip flops. I think.
Okay. Well,
there's something with dudes with hairy toes.
Yeah.
And well, actually, dudes should have hairy toes, and if you have hairy toes, you can't wear flip flops. So in my opinion, dudes just shouldn't wear flip flops.
I get that.
Unless you're on a boat.
It is kind of weird to. I mean, I got complimented once in the grocery store for my feet one time, and so ever since then, I've really not worn flip flops.
Do you have OnlyFans?
Yeah, no. It was a dude that complimented me on it, and I just went no.
Yeah, because I think a lady knows not to like, hey, you've got pretty feet, girl. And
I mean, even if a woman did do that, I get it in the sense of like if I just got a pedicure or they're looking at my shoes and they like my shoes or whatever the case may be. But for a dude, it's just creepy.
Yeah, I mean, dude compliments in general are just like whether it's a dude compliment to a girl. Off-putting 90% of the time. Or dude compliments to a dude. Like when I get compliments, I'm like, why are you not punching me in the nuts right now? I don't think we're friends. Like if you're complimenting me, that means you're talking shit.
Yeah. It's a new bit. So I won't do the actual bit, but no, this actually happened to me. I went home recently and I got hit on by someone that I knew from my childhood.
Heyo.
Yeah, and he said, "Oh,
your mom's friend."
No, but the dude was just like, "Hey, oh wow, yeah," because he didn't recognize me, and he was just like, "Oh wow, you really grew into your nose." And I went,
"Oh, into your nose, you fucker!"
Yeah. It's like,
just growing into yourself is
bad
enough.
But
You're
the
like,
fact that it was my nose, so I was like, okay, so my nose was huge, and then my face just flew up around it. That's what we're talking about.
Yeah, what do you say to that? Like,
I left the conversation.
Thank you, I guess.
I walked away.
Me and my big ass nose are going the other fucking direction.
Yeah, it's like, no, I'm good.
I had that once on Hinge. Like, there was a girl that matched with me, and her number one thing and only thing that was like written in her bio and not pictures was, "I'll match with you if you've got a big ass nose."
Why?
And the first thing I said was like, "My nose is normal size."
You know what? I like that. She's just roasting you to begin with.
I know. And it worked. She fucking negged the shit out of me.
So, yeah. Wow.
I mean, I texted her first. I'm like, what's wrong with me?
That's why. I think maybe that's why it's just the easiest thing to first, like, talk about or say or whatever. I don't know.
That was a good. She played the shit out of me.
There you
go. I was talking to her for 3 weeks longer than I meant to just because of that. What's wrong with my nose?
You want to prove to her that your nose is fine. That's what you want.
My nose is great.
Yeah. You know what? That's smart. Maybe I'm gonna get a Hinge and put that on my bio now.
Definitely do Hinge. If you get Tinder, you're gonna get a lot of more feet compliments.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Well, and so I technically still have my profiles that are still floating around there. I have a Tinder and I have a Hinge.
Oh, and so every once in a while you get a comment like, "I found your Tinder" or something.
Actually, yes, that happened recently. Oh, I was just at the bar and the bartender. But the bartender was just like, "Oh, hey, Kinsey, I saw you on Tinder the other day," and I just busted out laughing. I was like, "What does that? What do you want to? What do you mean?" Because I was like, I hadn't checked it in a long time. Yeah. I haven't. I honestly should go back because sometimes I will get on there, especially if I'm traveling, and I'll just like go look at what's in the area, just whatever.
It's fun. It's like Candy Crush for me now.
A little bit, yeah. And it's
who
like,
can I pick?
Yeah, it's like, who likes me? Let's just get a little bit of an endorphin rush real quick,
and put the phone down.
Exactly. And then as soon as I get a comment, oh God,
ew,
I'm done.
Gross.
Yeah, but no, it was one of those things where I just went, I haven't been on in months. How did you see this? And also, why are we talking about it? Oh my God. Yeah.
I had someone at HEB do that to me when I was working there, and she was 35 when I was 20.
Mhm.
She's like, I saw your account on Tinder, and I just almost vomited.
Oh, really?
She was just a sweet, sweet lady that loved her sweets.
Yep.
She was...
Are you fat shaming right now? You should know better. You used to be fat.
Yeah, but that's why I'm not fat anymore, because I shamed myself.
There you go.
Yeah. I mean, you had your tits punch you in the face going over a speed bump once, and you're like, I have to change.
Well, I gotta change, buddy. I gotta get skinny. This is actually, yeah. I've been doing a lot of working out lately, and a part of it is because I am now unemployed, so I have a lot of time on my hand. So it's more of like, all right, I need to not be a couch potato every single day. I need to get up and go do stuff.
Fun.
It is, but after like the second day of doing nothing, I'm like, God, I'm gonna go insane.
Right, yeah. No, as someone that goes to the gym every single day, because I'm genuinely neurotic about it at this point.
Yeah. I mean, it's been helping my happiness levels for sure. I'm depressed. I'll just put it out. I am depressed, yeah. But it's like...
We're comics. We're not okay.
We're not mentally stable.
Yeah.
But the exercise has been helping a bunch, so...
That's good.
Yeah.
That's really good to hear. And that, like, I never got happiness from it. I just always got, there was the confidence aspect of it. Like, you got more confidence because you started looking better. And then there was now I only go because if I don't go, I go to the gym, but I'm still a fat piece of shit outside of it. Like, I'll have all my ice cream at night because I'm a little fat pig boy.
But you want the exercise so you can combat that kind of a thing. I get that. Yeah, it's also not great that you call yourself that when you're eating ice cream. Are you just shaming yourself while you're taking a spoon?
100%.
Like, you little piggy.
I'm a little fat pig boy. And like the saltiness aspect, because I do love sweet and salty together, or my tears in the ice cream.
I've noticed this recently. The most fat phobic people I've ever met used to be fat.
Oh, 100%.
And it is insane to me. It is like crazy. Yeah. I mean, like
From my head, do you know what like anyone listening, we're fat phobic.
No one's listening to this.
I know. I know.
That's why we're naming names and we're gossiping like shit because no one's listening.
Hey, y'all's episode is over 100 views. That's big time.
Jesus Christ,
We're big time.
Okay. Great. Yep, that's big time.
Big time. But no, like I'm fat phobic because if I ever do that again, I won't come back.
Oh yeah.
I'm not gonna have a revitalization of my workout at 32. I'm just gonna be a fat dad.
All right.
At that point, I'll adopt a kid. I'll be single with a child.
You'll
that
make
I
sure
took.
you have a child.
Yeah, I'll just be the fat dad.
You're gonna steal a child. That's great.
And also, like, in genuine honesty, it's because I look at some fat people who are happy and like genuinely happy. I'm like, how could I not find that? Like, if I could have figured out how to be happy at 280, I'd be 315 right now. But no, thankfully, I was super, like, upset when I did a plank and my tits would touch the ground. They're like, okay, shit's got to change. Yeah.
Well, so I have issues right now, which is that I have been exercising every day, but I've been gaining weight, and part of that's because it's muscle, right?
There you go, yeah.
Well, at least I'm telling myself that.
Don't
right?
look at numbers. That's
the
biggest thing, is you can't look at the numbers, because my numbers is what made me bulimic in college.
Oh, wow.
Because I started working out, and then I got, just because I started moving in the correct way, I lost 40 pounds very quickly, and then I hit a plateau, and I was at the same weight for months, and then I drove myself fucking crazy.
Yeah.
And then I accidentally became bulimic because I would take too much pre-workout, and that would give me an upset stomach. And when I did that, it was like, did you ever have your mom say, like, let's go to Mexico and hopefully I get Montezuma's revenge because I'll come back skinny?
That has never happened to me. My mom did never say that, which is shocking. She did pay me to lose weight one time, several times actually, but...
What?
Yeah, that's a fun story. I want
to give you a hug.
No, it's fine. Every summer, my mom would have like a goal, and it was all of us. It was herself included, but it was one of those things where it was a monetary thing where, like, if you lose, the amount of pounds you lose is the amount of money you will get at the end of the summer.
Right. See, mine was weird because mine, like,
it never worked on me, which is shocking because I love money, but no, it never worked.
Oh, that's so sad. I'm so sorry.
It used to be like a fun thing. My mom has a lot of...
It used to be a fun thing. My God.
She used to be proud of it because both of my sisters, it would work on both of them, especially my oldest sister. And that's, I think, why she did it. Why, she found something that worked for my oldest sister.
Right.
And so I think she just was like, this is going to work for everybody.
I get that. I fucked my sister over in parenting because... I was a really easy kid, and my sister was a fucking wackadoo, and she just made it impossible for my parents at the time.
Yeah.
So I also raised myself when I was a kid. Like, by 8, I was like an adult.
Yeah.
I was like, I've got to do laundry and mow the yard, but I also have to come back from 5th grade.
Well, and that's they constantly say your parents is different than your siblings' parents, right? Because they're at a different time, they're at a different, and I totally agree with that. But they do try to raise you the same way, which is so funny because it's like it does not. My sister has a lot of problems. She is brilliant. She is one of the most the smartest people I know. But yeah, she was very fun to live with.
Yeah, that was my sister. But like, I going back to living with different parents, like my parents and my sister's parents were completely different because I was the first kid. My parents didn't have a whole lot of money at the time, and I grew up a poor kid. I'm still a poor kid at heart. My sister grew up when they were making more cash, so she
Things
doesn't
are more flux.
Yeah, she has no understanding of the plight of saving money. Like she's going to be fucked when it comes to her bank account. Like. I don't have a credit card. I don't believe into going into debt for any of that. I have my credit score right now because I took out college loans and I'm paying for my car, and that's it. Like, if I can't afford something, I won't purchase it
so you don't
because
have a credit
I'm
card
poor.
at all? Oh, wow. You're so stupid. So stupid. You need a credit card. Yeah. Like, that's how you build credit. Also, my credit score is terrible because I had bed bugs and I had to move out of my apartment, and they're still trying to get money from me, which they are not getting. But
fuck you. Yeah, that's crazy.
I definitely am privileged in the sense where it's like, I don't care what my credit score is. And I hate saying that.
Like, I don't care what my credit score is because it's all... I can't remember the term they use for it, but it's fake points because I've done good, but for 5 times. And the thing is, though, I've got my car. Yeah. I've got my house for now. And
you're doing better than most people. You have a house. Yeah. You have a cat. You have a cat that's very, very cute.
I have the only cat that's nice in the world that I've ever
lets me
come
pet
across.
it like a dog.
I know. I'm surprised. I'm sad that he didn't want to come in here, but I get it.
It's too many things.
Yeah. He might be autistic. Like, if he looked in this room and shied away, I wouldn't be surprised.
That makes sense. Yeah. No, but that's with different because both my sisters are older than I am, and so
Wait, you're the baby?
Yes.
I would not have expected that.
Really?
Yeah.
That's shocking. No, I am very much the baby.
You give me middle kid energy in that you parent yourself when I like.
Well, so that's what both of my sisters are close in age, so they really needed a lot. Like, they do not mesh well together. They are polar opposites.
That's me and my sister because we're too far apart.
Oh, interesting.
We're 7 years.
Well, so my oldest sister is 8 years older than I am, and so I'm very much the youngest. But that's part of why I think I probably give off that energy is because I was very independent and I had to entertain myself.
Right.
I'll put it that way.
You were going through not necessarily generations, but it was kind of its own thing. Like, you were in your own wave.
Well, and so most of my mom's time was like, those two fought a lot, so it was tearing those two apart. But then also the big thing is I had to go to their tennis meets, so I am there with a book and I have to go play by myself or whatever the case may be. We're at softball, we're at this, so she's watching them play, and then I'm like, all right, I'm gonna make myself.
Wow, you just kind of. My sister is way more personable than I am, which is not saying much because I'm very not personable. I find 5 people that also sit on the perimeter of every circle. I'm like, hey, you're kind of neat.
I think you're pretty personal.
It's just my 5 people.
Okay. Well, no, you seem like, I mean, although I will say most people, whenever I have said, oh, I'm going to go to Paxton's podcast, and they're like, the woman?
The lady, yeah.
I know, I said that last time because it's like.
I need to get her on.
I don't know who this person is. I haven't either. I haven't, but it's shocking.
Oh, fuck. They might just be talking about me.
Maybe.
Especially after that first episode of ours.
Well, no, I heard about it before. Before that, yeah. Paxton, whatever that shit was. I'm surprised. I'm surprised he didn't dress up this time too, and just constantly male feminist.
Well, okay, to pull the curtain back, I did that because I knew y'all coming to my house might be trepidatious. Like,
what? Like, just because we're women coming into a man's house, or?
Yeah, and also just because we talk a lot, but still not a whole lot.
No, I mean, that was my first time ever being over here.
Right.
So
it was your first time coming over. It was for something. Yeah. And then you're also meeting Blake for the first time. So there's 2 dudes. It's 2 girls walking.
He's very creepy, by the way.
Yeah,
he's just sitting in a closet.
He just likes to watch.
He's just sitting in a closet, kind of laughing sometimes, but not laughing enough.
And he hasn't been talking a whole lot either.
Like I told you, I'm pretty hungover, so my mind's a little.
You're a little out there.
I knew it was pretty fucked up last night when I got a FaceTime call from him.
Oh shit!
During the fight, I'm like, oh, Blake and I text. That's about it. I've never called this guy.
Yeah.
We've called once when I was
Yeah.
in the car because I couldn't text you, but that was it.
I always feel bad whenever someone does call me at 3 a.m. and they're not, and like, I'm not
You get
also, yeah, I
nervous.
do. I'm just
You're
like,
like, it's
did you
3 a.m. What are
die?
you doing?
Yeah.
Oh, fuck. As soon as you click end, you're like, oh, he's drunk and he's going to drive. Fuck.
Yeah.
I won't lie to you. That was my first initial reaction. Is after I saw that you called, I'm like, oh my God, I hope he's okay.
Oh, he's dead. He can't produce the episodes tomorrow.
Oh, no. Yeah, that's what he cares about. Oh, you're not going to be there for the episodes that didn't happen because this is the only one. Because
I love you, buddy.
Yeah, Christopher couldn't make it because
Christopher couldn't make it. He'll come back on, but he's the worst. No.
He's the worst. You know, you can say that. He
was so sweet and apologetic.
Well, because I think he's normally the type that he's on time.
Right.
So honestly, when it was 10 minutes and he wasn't here, I was like,
no, you could tell in his voice that he's actually like an organized person. He's like, I've had a couple drinks. I don't want to come on. I'm like, okay, yeah,
no worries. No.
Yeah. And then there was someone that was late to this podcast before, and when he called me, he was like, hey, I'm going to be an hour late. My wife snoozed my thing. I was like, could you show a little more sorriness?
Yeah, just
please?
a little.
Just to save my fucking ego a little, please? Yeah. Like, this isn't, you're doing me a favor?
Are we naming names?
No.
Are we going back into the gossip train?
He was just sweet for me today. He was just very nice today. So,
all right.
Love you, buddy, if you figure it out.
Let me just start naming. No, I'm just kidding.
It's everyone.
It's all the people. It's me, actually. I'm the one that did that. I was an hour late.
No, I made her come because she hurt my feelings.
Yeah.
I am the type of person where, like, I'd almost call a podcast if someone hurt my feelings. I'm like, were you mad at me?
You should do that. I think there should be more confrontation podcasts. That's why I've always wanted to start like a Drama of Dallas podcast, and then we just talk about shit that happens.
It can't be me because I shut down and I get angry.
Oh, really?
That's why I don't drink anymore.
Oh, I think that's part of why I'm a gossip, is that it's like I want to know what happened. And
no, I'm a gossip because I'm hoping, like, stick around. I got information.
Oh, really?
No, my parents fought a lot, so that's why I hate confrontation. So, like, it's 3 back and forths, and I'm like, you know what? You win. I'm tired of the conversation. I'm gonna go over here.
If it's something that I really care about, and someone's like not paying attention to me at all, I'm like, all right, I'm gonna get loud now. Like I'm that kind of a person. I'm like, you thought I was loud before? No, get
I was
fucking
showing
ready.
You love.
Exactly. I was like, I was speaking in a calm tone. There's no more fucking calm tones. I will get loud.
Oh, yes, that makes me feel so good. You've never yelled at me.
No. But also, well, I mean, my problem is, and I think it's a little bit of the ADHD. When I get overwhelmed, I will like go, oh my, and like I'll yell, but it's like it's not directed at anybody.
I've done that. Like,
yeah,
and it's very few and far between. But thankfully, it happens when I'm around women because beforehand it was just like I was sadly a drunk dude, bro, and if I was pissed off, I'd fight.
Yeah.
However, I was good at making other people throw the first punch, so it wasn't my fault. But
that's a good talent to have.
Yeah, it was 9 for 10. It worked pretty well. But
sure.
Yeah.
I always enjoy the people though. I've met several people like this that will like start a fight where they're talking and someone hits them, and then no, not even that. They'll like someone will hit them, and then they'll be like, "I'm not gonna fight you. Like I already won because you threw a punch." And it's like,
it's
bro, how do you have that calmness?
There was who the fuck was it? It was someone like Bill Burr. Oh, no, it was Jesselnick. Okay. He was talking about getting death threats from a joke he got.
Oh, really?
And it was like a closer on a special. And basically what it was, he was building up to this. And you couldn't really figure it out, but now I should have been able to know that this is where he was going. But he goes, if I ever get killed for one of my jokes, I'm on the king of fucking, I'm top shit. I'm king shit. Are you kidding me? Andy Warhol's paintings suck.
Oh, wow.
And he just died.
Yeah.
I mean, Leonard Skinner probably wasn't going to be the greatest band of all time, but you find a couple rednecks in a trailer. They died too early. That plane went down.
I have no idea any of these references are.
Skinner? Leonard Skinner? Freebird?
I know of but I don't know.
Their lead singer died in a plane crash.
He died in a plane crash, and because he died early on, within like an album or two, everyone's like, he was going to be Jesus.
Well, and it's like, wasn't it Van Gogh that no one bought his paintings until he died? Yeah. Like, and now he's like a really famous name.
Mm-hmm.
He
was just a lunatic with one ear at one point.
Yeah. Well, and it's one of those things where like you work so hard to have the famous or the infamy, and then it's like, you're going to get it, but you got to die first.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, look at Nirvana, Kurt Cobain, like, you know.
Oh, that too.
That was one thing, though, but Nirvana had their claim to fame. Like, I feel like they were a lot. I don't think they ever thought that they were going to be this famous. Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, I was also born after any time Nirvana was doing anything. Yeah. So it could just be the fact that I know the post-death shit. Yeah. Like, pre-death, were they notable names?
Yeah, they were getting big.
How old are you?
27.
Okay.
Yeah,
And
so I
you're,
mean,
you're
23.
Yeah. No, I knew that you were younger, but I was just like, are you like actually 40 something and that you know these things, like
I
were
just
you
see-
alive during
Now
the time?
you understand why I knew you'd be nervous.
Yes.
He's 40.
He's 40, which is all of the men that have hit on me recently. So let's not do
Blake?
that.
Do or don't, depending on how what Kinsey's feeling. She might need to pick me up.
No, God, don't.
Don't.
Yeah. Sorry. It wasn't directed at you. That was directed at the 40-year-olds.
But it makes me feel a little bit better.
Yeah.
You should feel worse. She thought you were 40.
No, I didn't think he was 40, but I was like, if you know about this situation, or if you knew when was that happening? 70s? You'd be a lot older than 40, but yeah, baby faced. You could be baby faced.
I'm babyface. That's why I have the beard. That and a weak ass chin.
No, you look like your age. In fact, if you said that you were 30, I'd be like, yeah, that's fine. You could also say you were 18, and I'd be like, yeah, that makes sense. Like you
There
have
is a
one of
weird thing about that. Like
Yeah.
I used to be a bouncer, so I had to check IDs. So I can still kind of do it.
Yeah.
But like you could be 15 or 18 or 25. I have no fucking idea
No,
anymore.
it's so hard to tell for
But-
sure.
And you see these girls walking down the street, and then you hear that they're 16 years old. Like,
Yeah.
you look like a 30-year-old compared to when I was 16.
So one of my sisters, not my oldest one, but the middle one, she still gets carded at like movie theaters.
Really?
Yeah, and she's like in her early 30s.
Wow, good for her.
I mean, yeah,
as
it's
soon as-
painful for me because everyone's always thought that I was older than her. It's because I'm taller, but like it's still like, oh God.
That is a bitch. Everyone
Yeah.
looks at me like I still don't understand that. Like my parents fucked at a certain point in time, and my dad's tall. Like
Yeah.
that's all I did.
Yeah.
And short people hate me because I'm tall. Like I didn't do anything for this.
This is not genetics that I
Yeah.
tried to have. Yeah.
I'm sorry, I'm not 5'2".
Yeah.
My mom is. I almost was.
Well, that was what was one of the frustrating things with having friends that were girls growing up or college age and things like that. Everyone would be like, "Oh yeah, we're gonna go party tonight, and we're gonna get dressed up, and we're gonna wear heels." And I'm like, "I will tower over everybody. That is not what's gonna happen to me tonight.
I will wear flats.
I will wear
and you will
flats.
like it.
I will wear flats, and we will be maybe the same height. This is great."
Yeah. There's something about heels too. Like I never want to be around heels.
Oh really?
It's such a weird thing, but like as soon as
Yeah.
I hear a heel, I'm like, I don't know what PTSD it is, but I get like principal or teacher vibes. I'm like,
Yeah, I get that. I mean, I love shoes, right? So I have several pairs of heels, and I like them, but that's it. It's like I have to have an event to go to have that, and even then, I'm like, I shouldn't be wearing this. I don't have the muscle memory, I guess, to wear them. Like,
I'm at a point where like anytime something big comes up, like if it's not a wedding and it's just like a tier below that, I'm fucked. Like when it comes to nice clothes.
oh yeah.
Because it's just one pair of black slacks, a white shirt,
Well,
and then my sport coat that I'll
I think
wear.
that's a little comedy because I used to dress a lot nicer, but now I'm like, who cares? And even with like going on stage, I've had so many women comment lately on how I go up with no makeup on and my hair not done, and I'm like, thank you.
Yeah.
Is this a
You
compliment?
fucking bitch.
I don't know if this is. I think that this is an insult. I think.
It's like that. I love how you could just wear anything.
Yes,
Ugh.
it's like that, but I think they're being like, "Oh my gosh, that's great! Like, I wish I could do that kind of a thing." Or it's audience people that are talking to me about this. This is
Right.
not like other comics, but it is one of those things where I'm just like, you can.
Yeah.
Everyone, it's an open. Go on stage. Like,
Just I would love like in the same way that I wish and think every single person should work in the restaurant industry at some point in their life.
yeah.
Every single person should try stand up. Not for stand up's sake because we're too small
Yeah,
of a
but
group, but like
This
people
is,
need to walk up on stage to understand not how to fuck with people.
yeah. When I was on the dating apps a lot more, or actually on them because like checking and everything like that, I had a picture of me on stage at one point, and just the amount of first, lines would be, "Oh, I've always wanted to do stand up. I think it'd be really funny," and then it's like, please don't.
Yeah.
Because like you can, but like I'm not gonna talk to you after this. Like,
Right.
Yeah.
That's the first thing to tell if anyone's not funny.
Yeah.
I think I'm pretty funny because anyone that is funny, like I fucking suck a big fat cock. I'm not funny. Please, someone else talk right now.
Well, and everyone thinks that they're gonna kill, and then they go up on stage, and the best are when they're just like, "I killed," and it's like you got one laugh, but that was the first time you've ever been on stage, so that is a kill for you, which is great.
Right.
But like
You need that confidence.
Yes, you do need that because otherwise I'd think that no one would go back up on stage if they ate a dick every single time and they actually heard themselves. It takes a while to hear yourself on stage. I still rarely hear myself on stage sometimes.
Yeah. It's still at a point where I'm like, where I'll start. I catch myself in accents,
Mhm.
not like I'm doing like a Swedish person or something,
Yeah.
but like I'm like I'm
You're
not
phoning
that
it in
southern.
a little bit,
Yeah,
or yeah.
like I'll start talking about Tarleton and I'll catch like the old hick accent I had because
Yeah.
I had one and then lost it when I was in high school shit, and then I
Mhm.
went back out to the fucking boonies, and then I got a little bit of one back.
Well, I guess it depends on what you're talking about. Because sometimes if I'm going into some of the like my childhood stuff, I'll probably like I could kind of change up my language a little bit, you know?
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean vernacular's a little different, but I'll catch myself like
with an accent.
yeah, a vernacular or with an accent, and then even saying words that are like.
So you're going to be Russian, is that it, or are you going to try some other different? I don't know.
That was a pretty good Russian accent.
I've been
You
practicing.
Ruski fuck. You commie.
Hey, I have a bit now where I actually go into the Russian accent.
Oh,
so,
really? Are
yeah.
you like Eastern European?
I have no idea anymore.
Fair enough. Yeah, for a long time I was told I was Native American. I was like, no, I'm fucking.
Yeah,
I'm just
yes,
in Texas. We're not all Native American.
I have a similar story. it's there's a lot of that I feel like happening.
Right.
One,
Everyone trying to be anything but white.
yeah, that will, or just like things get lost, or it's a lot of story based stuff, and it's so hard to like really know the history of things unless like your family has been here for this long and you've never left, and it's like that kind of
Yeah.
a thing. Yeah,
And
So.
at this point, who gives a shit?
here's that. Time.
I only want to know about my lineage to know what diseases I'm going to have to forefront.
Well, and
Like,
I already know a lot of because based off of who's dead and how they died, I
Right.
know what I'm gonna have.
yeah, if I pick up smoking, I'm fucked.
Yeah.
But hopefully don't.
Well, I've been trying to limit like caffeine intake and things like that because heart attacks is the big thing in both sides of my family.
Yeah, I need to go back down.
yeah.
I was at one point where I take pre-workout to go to work out because I like to work out in the morning and then
Nice.
get everything else done.
Yeah. It's probably the most healthiest way of doing it.
Kind of, but I
Ish.
wish I need to get into a flow of eating something and then 30 minutes later going in the morning. I need to wake
do you
up
not
early.
do you not eat at all?
No.
See now that I don't know if that's good or bad, but I've
No,
heard that's
it's-
not great.
It's
Yeah.
not good for you. It's people call it fasted cardio, but I'm not I'm not doing cardio,
No.
and B, I used to be putting in 350 milligrams of caffeine
Oh God.
at 8 o'clock in the
That
morning
is
on an
so
empty stomach.
much.
I'm pretty sure I've had heart palpitations and
Probably.
stuff like that.
Yeah, yeah.
Because there was that, and then after I got back from college, I was working manual labor stuff,
Mhm.
and there was definitely a day I got heat stroke.
Oh wow.
And,
See, and that's not good.
yeah, so after that, I had to drop down to, I think I take about 150 at this point.
That's
So
still quite because how much is a cup of coffee?
like 62.
Oh wow, yeah. So that's because I remember when Red Bull first. I remember in the olden days. But no, when
Back in my day.
when Red Bull was like really becoming popular, I like obviously we were always told with energy drinks you got to limit it because it's a lot. But even that's like 80, and like a cup of coffee 60. Like it's
Yeah.
still not that much.
And Red Bull, at one point, from what I remember, you could buy a 150 milligram caffeine.
yeah, probably.
Red
But I
Bull.
think the regular one's like 80.
Yeah.
Either way, yeah, no, that's too much, bro. That's way too much.
It was too much, and like.
At that point, just take Adderall. Like, at that point, stop with the caffeine and just, yeah.
Get back on my sister's Adderall pills. Ooh.
Maybe
Allegedly.
not admit that, yeah.
Yeah,
It's
allegedly.
Mr. Not pre-med. What is it? What did you major in college?
Oh, criminal justice.
Criminal justice.
Well, why do you
Pre-criminal
think I'm
justice.
here?
There you go.
I should have done like some sort of criminal defense stuff, but also, they were. At the time, I was going to be a homicide detective, and
That's like, yeah. I don't. That just seems like a lot.
it was. Yeah, it would have been. I thought I could handle it, and now looking back on it, I'm glad that I didn't try.
Well, it's the same thing with medical stuff, right? You always think that you're going to. There is, I just saw it on TikTok. There was a video of like, they showed high schoolers that want to be pre-med a C-section, and like someone passed out,
Yeah.
someone like, and it's just, yeah, it's like, dude, you need to know if you can cut out for this. This
Yeah.
is,
I remember in 6th grade, they did. Did y'all have like pathways in high school where like
I don't believe so.
they kind of gave us college major paths
No.
early.
Mm-mm.
So at our school, you could go down like a STEM path, which is the
Yeah.
science and all that.
My graduating class was less than 100 people though.
You told me that. Okay, fair enough.
It's
Yeah,
like, maybe not.
right. All of our all of our campuses at high school are like JUCOs. It's ridiculous. My graduating class came in our freshman year with 950 kids.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
No.
we jumped from 4A to 6A. We skipped over
What
5A.
what will that reunion look like? Because I'm of the year now. It's almost 10 years since I graduated high school. So I have a friend that is planning a reunion. I don't know if I'm going to go back to it yet. Or she's posted several things in this group chat that we have now, being like, "Who's coming?" And I'm just silent, going, "I don't know yet."
I don't think
It's like I don't want to necessarily commit to this, but
Yeah.
that's it. A lot of people that are still local are like, "Oh my gosh, it's gonna be great." This
I
and
was
the
a
other.
loser. Reunions are only fun for the people that won back then.
It's not even fun for if you won, because most of the people that won didn't win at life.
No, they peaked in high school, but they get to relive in that moment. Like they get to put
so
the
they're
Leatherman
really,
back on.
that's like the highlight of the year is
Oh,
going
yeah.
back to this
This
reunion.
is the Met Gala for these people.
I guess so.
Yeah.
For me, I'm just like, I don't know if I want to go through with that.
Yeah, because you have aspirations. You want to be.
Yeah. Also, I wasn't popular in high school, but I also like, I don't know. I think about it in this. There was one time, I'll say this, in middle school where there was like two guys. We were in band, and I was reading because the teacher hadn't gotten there yet, and it was going to be a free day anyway, so we weren't really doing anything. I was reading, and then one guy was like very loudly kind of making fun of me, I think. And so, but then I look up and he's like, "Oh, Kinsey. Oh, sorry. I thought you were this other person. Yeah, my bad. I apologize." And I went, "Okay." I was like, I don't know how to feel about this, where it's like, yeah, what was I doing that made me weird? But then also like, why is it that it was me doing it, it's fine, but if I was a different person, it's not fine? But then I was like, does this make me an okay person? It was a very theological moment that I still remember, even though my response was, okay.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
I was a fucking doormat in high school. So
Oh,
like
really?
all of my friends were just the people that would talk. I'll pre-edit and say they would talk at me.
Mhm.
That's who these people that I hung around with were. And at this point, I've cut 70% of the people I used to talk to out of my life
Oh,
entirely.
wow.
Told them to fucking kick rocks.
It's because you got skinny.
No, it wasn't even that.
Okay.
It was just people like, I literally told a dude, like, you have to stop treating me like I was the fat kid in high
Good
school.
for you.
Because if you don't, I'm an angry person now,
Yeah.
and I fought, like, and I did all this
I'm
shit.
no longer the same person I was in high school.
I've literally said I would no longer that person, and
Yeah.
if you treat me like that,
Mm-hmm.
even though I've known you since kindergarten,
Yeah.
I know where you live, and we're
I'ma
gonna have
go-
a
yeah.
problem.
We're gonna
And-
go have words. Yeah.
Oh, dude, there was a guy that he and I were kind of sort of close because
Mm-hmm.
he was fatter than I was, but he was a good talker, and I shut the fuck up all the time.
Gotcha. So you
And
kind of hid behind him a little bit in
I
that sense.
wasn't even hid behind him. It was just people would bring fat shit on him, and then
Oh.
he'd put it on me, and then I didn't say anything.
Yeah, you just ate it.
I just ate it. And then a couple months ago, he's in the same fantasy football league I'm in,
Nice.
and he's hitting me up about a player, and it starts off normal, like, hey, stop texting me about him. I'm not going to give you this player. I want to keep him.
Mhm.
Yada, yada, yada. Normal, boring shit. And then it just escalates out of nowhere to, like, you uppity motherfucker. Who do you think you are?
Just because of a fantasy football thing?
Yeah. And I was like,
That guy's going through some shit.
he said to
Something
me,
else is happening. His wife is divorcing him.
I hope so.
God.
Fuck you. Frank, you fat fuck. I'll call you out.
Sure,
Kidding.
yeah.
No, it was just like,
Editing things out. No, I'm just kidding.
keep that one in. We're at a minute and a half or an hour and a half, so why the fuck not? He's not gonna
Nice.
get this far.
This is gonna
But-
be no. We need to do double the amount of time because since Christopher couldn't be here, we're still going until 9. Like,
Of course, damn right.
this is gonna be 2 podcasts. No, I'm just kidding.
That's not a bad idea.
I mean, we could, but whatever. I have nothing. I am so unemployed right now. I have nothing to do. I have nothing. I thought I was gonna enjoy it, and I've enjoyed it for like a week, and now I'm just like,
You've got your vacation.
I
in
want
and out.
something else to do because now I'm just like going through my clothes. Like that's the big thing I'm doing now is just like, all right, what can I get rid of? What can I kind of sell?
When I
'Cause
go to my closet for something to do, I
Yeah.
know something's wrong.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, no, like it had gotten to a point where he'd even said like, "You'd done a couple things, and now you think you're hot shit." And I was at first I typed out "fuck you, fat fuck, you're gonna suck a dick and die in a hole,"
Oh, so
and
that's
then I
not a
deleted
good-
all that, and I was like,
You're a
you know,
stand-up
honestly,
comic. Get a better roast. What?
I'm not good at roasting. I just wanted him to hurt.
You get better at roasting.
Yeah.
Oh, side note, I love the roast, and it's not because okay, I love the roast that I go on my last roast that I did.
Oh yeah.
The first roast that this guy said was, "You look like 2 beta fish in the same jar." I have no idea what that means, but I love it. I love that so much, and I can't tell you why I love it, but I do. And I've told this guy, I was just like, I don't know what you were going for, but this is great.
I love it, but I don't know what it means, but I love it.
I think it's just maybe borderline personality disorder is what he's calling me. I don't know.
Yeah, that's something about roasting is like you catch some people starting to roast and you're like, you're just writing roast for a person. Like
Yeah, it's
you're
not
not writing
specific.
it for the
That's
person
why I
you're
loved
roasting.
this, because of like hair or whatever. I don't even know what he was doing, but I was like, that's me in a nutshell.
Right.
I am two beta fish in a jar.
No, I like roast of. Roasts of are fun because I don't want to sit there and just like, if I'm gonna hit one person, I'm gonna hit everyone so everyone knows
Got
it's
it.
okay.
Yeah.
Because I mean, like going back to the taking all the shit, I don't want to make anyone feel bad.
Yeah.
Unless you make me want to make you feel bad, then I'm gonna insult the fuck out of you.
But your insults are, you fat fuck.
Yeah, no.
It's not a good insult.
No, I was hot and heated. I wasn't writing.
Well, I get
wouldn't
that,
sit down
but
to write.
still, but get better about argument. You apparently, well, you said you shut down during arguments anyway.
Oh
so,
yeah, 100%.
I don't shut down. I say everything I've ever thought about a person.
No, I'm the type of dude that like people know that once I go silent,
Yeah,
like
that's a
I'm
problem.
gonna walk away because last time I didn't walk away,
Mm-hmm.
I was arrested.
Okay, well, no, that's learned habit.
Yeah.
Then, yeah. Like, I'm not going to go through this again because I don't want to. That's smart.
Yeah.
You grew from there. Yeah.
Yeah, that was part of it. Was like I hated the fact that he was coming at me for what I felt like was a huge growth in my life. It's probably, I'll look back on this in 10 more years and like, oh yeah, I was being an asshole.
Yeah.
And, you know, if that comes the case in 10 years, I'll apologize. But, you know, I'll live and forgive and don't forget forever.
That happens. I can hold a grudge like a motherfucker.
Talking about me being kind of a lady, I hold a grudge like the best of
That's
the
why
women.
we're friends, because you're a woman.
100%.
Yeah.
100.
Male
Yeah.
feminist.
Yeah.
Male feminist.
I'm a twink.
Hit a woman. No. Gosh, I'm gonna get canceled from this podcast. And I'm nothing.
I'll take it from you.
Yeah.
There's been a couple women.
What?
There was a lady once we were at a Rangers baseball game,
Mm-hmm.
and Mike Trout had thrown like a baseball our direction, and Mike Trout's a huge baseball player.
Yeah.
Like he's one of those people that's on a bad team, but he's gonna be one of the greatest of all time.
I know nothing about baseball, so I believe you. Yeah.
That's why I'm trying to build context.
Yeah.
But he threw it up in the stands, and it was going kind of in between me and my sister, but I was gonna catch it for her because she's a little girl, and well, she didn't play softball. I was gonna hit her in the forehead.
Great.
Yeah.
Let her have that bandage. I don't know.
Before it even
Good.
could get there,
Yeah.
some uppity bitch, and like she was out there in a diamond necklace
Uh-huh.
in the stands of a Rangers game where I'm eating a hot dog.
Yeah.
And she snatched the ball out of it. It was impressive. I'll give her that. It was a nice snag. I was
Great. Yeah.
her fucking demon old lady hands.
Uh,
Just snatched it out of the air, and she's hammered. I'm like, hey, my sister's 7. This is like her third baseball game ever.
you didn't preface by saying your sister was 7 at the time.
Oh yeah.
That's why I was like a little girl. How? Yeah.
Well, yeah. No, she was a little girl.
Okay.
Okay,
Now,
fair enough.
now I'm on board with what you're saying.
Yeah. I was just trying to get her a baseball, and she's like, my husband's an astronaut. And I was like, first off, who gives a shit? I was asking for the baseball for my sister.
He's gonna send you to space.
He was standing right there, and he was just like, it was one of those,
He's just letting her do whatever.
you know when someone does something bad in traffic and they're doing the, I'm going to do everything but look at you right now because I'm staring holes in your face?
Yeah.
He was doing that. It was like, my wife fucked up. Oh, no.
Yeah.
It's about to get heated. And it got to a point where in front of my dad, mom, sister, and everyone else around, I was like, I'd never hit a lady, but I'll push you fucking hard as shit, ma'am. Can my sister have that fucking ball before you keep being a bitch? And it got out of hand. But I was like 16, so I won. It was my...
You
no,
won?
I won.
Okay, great. Yeah.
I mean, I hope my sister thinks about that. I was like, my brother...
She probably got rid of the ball. Puck.
She probably doesn't remember.
Yeah, whatever. Ball.
Did you say puck?
I was like, did we talk? Was this hockey? I honestly was like, was this a hockey game? No. You just look like you're a hockey fan.
I didn't want to. Like
You
it's
didn't want to
so-
be a hockey fan?
No. I always wanted to. I just can't. Like, it's so
Play
hard to
hockey.
watch on TV.
Yeah, no, it
And I
is.
didn't grow up playing it.
No.
So, like,
Well,
it was...
yeah, that's part of it.
Yeah. It was... Like... It's impossible to see that fucking thing.
Well, I hate it because my family was a big, like, we would go watch the Royals in Kansas City all the time.
Oh, okay.
And
That's the fucking cool stadium to go to.
Yeah, I hated it.
Okay, fair enough.
Because no, my dad would go and he'd be like, "We're gonna have beers." I'm 5. No, there's nothing to like. I'm so surprised no one thought I had a mental disorder before I actually found out. Because I'd go and I'd be like, "No, I want food. No, I want to go do this. No, I want to go do that." And they'd be like, "Sit, watch." And I'm like, "This is not cool. I don't like this." I'm sitting, it's hot, my family's cheap, so we're not gonna get me any food, even though I want food. I want popcorn, I want a hot dog, I want a beer, though I'm 5. Like, it's
everyone's hot, everyone's drunk, everyone's getting mean by the 7th
and
inning.
I gotta sit still. No,
Yeah.
My family took me to a few Royals games when I was younger, and then they realized very quickly I should go to grandmother's house, and so we would drive to Kansas City because I'm from a small town, so we would drive, and on the way they would drop me off at my granny's house.
That's nice.
Yeah, we'd play board games, and I'd watch Nickelodeon, and I had a blast.
Oh, that's way better.
It's so better because my mom was very avid on we will not be paying for cable, so I did not have.
We talked about this.
Yes, I did not have TV really growing up. I had VHSs that my mom would like boot. Do that
scan
and
copy.
scan and copy from neighbors' houses. And so when going over there, I'm like, I get to see actual programs. Like, this is so much fun. I'm
not
having
cut to tape
the best.
shit.
Yeah. I loved going over there. She fed me Raisin Bran and I would watch TV.
I honestly, to this day, I still
That's
look
my
back,
happy place.
Raisin Bran and TV. That's so great. Mine was weird too in that like I would go to my grandma's house a lot because she lives just down the road. So growing up, I was 20 minutes from here. So she was close.
Gotcha.
And I'd go there over the weekends when I didn't, have any friends. So that was my whole thing.
Yeah.
But
I think that's the PSA for this evening is if you're fat, you have no friends.
oh, 100%. Or unless you're funnier. I wasn't funny enough.
Oh, okay. Well, tell them to go to a stand-up show now. See what happens. Yeah.
Yeah, they won't come.
No,
I've tried. What was? Oh no, my happy place was going to grandma's and then going to Luby's.
I don't even know what that is.
Luby's was like a cafeteria style that all the old people went to.
Yeah.
Oh, my granny loved that. It was Furs. We had Furs.
We had a Furs.
Okay.
It was Furs and Luby's.
Yes.
I forgot about Furs.
Oh, Furs.
The Hush Puppies at Furs.
So good. I miss Furs so much because that was my granny's favorite, and we would go there. And it was Granny and Gramps, so Gramps loved it too, but he preferred Wendy's, so we would either have to do Wendy's or Furs. Very different. But no, we would always go there, and it was so funny because I obviously loved, well, not obviously, but I loved a dessert, so I'd pile on everything, and she would force me to eat the Jello dessert because that was her favorite thing, was like the pistachio Jello.
What?
Like, no, have you never had this?
No.
Oh, you're not Midwestern. I'm so
hate
sorry.
Jell-O.
No, okay. So it's like she grew up during the Great Depression, so it's like Great Depression Jello dessert, where it's like you got marshmallows and like there's different variations of it, but then pineapple and pecans, and it's terrible.
Yeah, that sounds.
And she would make me eat that. She'd be like, "No, this is better for you, so you should eat this."
I
And
don't
I'm
want
like,
better for me.
No,
I want chocolate cake.
I want chocolate cake. That's what I wanted. But no, that was her favorite thing. So she'd like force me to eat this pistachio Jello mixture. But yeah, it's Midwestern salad. That's what it is. It's a Midwest salad. I'm not kidding. Jello salad, Midwest salad, 7-Up salad. There's so many names for it. Walnut salad. Oh, what was the Richard Nixon Watergate salad? That's a big one.
Watergate salad.
Yeah.
Why is it Watergate?
Look
salad?
up Watergate salad. Look up the ingredients to Watergate salad. Oh my
wanna
gosh,
see
how
this.
have you guys not ever had this before?
Because we're from Texas.
I know, but you have to. It's terrible. Go have it. She would make it all the time, and every time they would go to Furs, we had to have it.
What in the ass?
That is what it looks like. That is what it looks like.
That's one of my. If I was autistic,
I'm having
it's
trauma.
my things that I hate the texture of A, Jello, and B, marshmallows.
It is
So,
exactly what I just said. Yes, pistachio, pudding mix, pineapple, marshmallows, walnuts, or pecans, and whipped topping.
That's ew.
Yeah. If we ever have a movie night, I will make it for you.
I
might eat it. Yeah.
It's also different that it's pistachio pudding and not pistachio like gelatin. Gelatin,
True.
I hate it.
Interesting that it's that. No, most of the time it was pistachio Jello for at least me.
Okay.
Yeah. So I think that's another variation that you could do. I don't know.
Huh.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's okay. So honestly, it looks like a Shamrock Shake,
Mm-hmm.
and I finally got a Shamrock Shake for the first time because that was another thing. Is my mom, we wouldn't go out to eat because I was the poor kid, so I never got to have one.
Gotcha.
And I had my first one ever, and I built it up way too much.
Yeah, no, it's not that great.
It tastes like toothpaste. I don't know why I never put that together.
See,
that this mint ice cream.
My
fucking
mom wasn't
shake.
really she didn't like to cook. I'll put it that way. I mean, or not necessarily that she didn't like to cook. It was more of just, I don't know. I need to talk to her probably about it just to be like, why didn't we cook? But we went out to eat. But like it was always fast food stuff. But it was so funny because we never went to like Dairy Queen because it was across the it was. Everything was within 5 minutes, and that was like 8 minutes away.
And it was across the highway.
It was across the highway, so we don't go there. And I'm like, it was so close.
But I want a dude sandwich.
Yeah. So we never really, and also I think she didn't want to go because she loves ice cream, like more than anything. That is her favorite dessert, and it would be like she's trying not to eat ice cream.
That makes sense.
Yeah, even though I didn't care about the ice cream, I wanted chicken strips. Like.
Did you not have anywhere else in the 5-mile radius that had good chicken strips?
I mean, Sonic, but that was like chicken bites. It wasn't
Right.
like chicken strips. So no, there was no chicken
Okay,
strips.
fair enough.
It was Dairy Queen, and also the gravy. The gravy's so good.
The gravy was good. It got really expensive. Have you been to a Dairy Queen recently?
No, because it's not on my. I didn't grow up with it.
Fair enough. Okay. Yeah. It's not in your
It's
Rolodex.
not in my Rolodex anymore. Yeah,
Yeah.
it was always Burger King, McDonald's, or Sonic was really the thing that we would always go, or at least for fast food wise, we'd go eat.
What was ours? My mom, her pregnancy foods were all my fast foods too. So like when she was pregnant, it was spicy chicken nuggets from Wendy's
Nice.
or anything Taco Bueno was a big one.
I miss at Wendy's the chicken wrap.
Ooh,
Those were so good. Yeah. And they don't have them anymore, and I'm very sad.
Speaking of not having them anymore, I think I have down the road the last old school Wendy's where everything is still yellow and red and gross on the inside
Oh, really?
instead of all these modernized
Yeah.
ones that taste like shit.
Well, and especially when they go to the new system where it's going to be $2, $4, $3, $9. What?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They got rid of my fucking 4 for $4, and that's how I lived in college.
I loved the 4 for $4 because also there was a hack in certain places that you could do where so there was this one specific Wendy's that I'd go there and they'd be like, you could do the 4 for $4, but you could do anything on the 4 for $4, so you didn't have to have fries. You could do 2 things of chicken nuggets.
Oh,
I know. Only specific ones would
yeah.
do it. But yeah, once you found the one that would do it, man, you could get 16 chicken nuggets. Like
That's okay. So this is a fun topic. What were your places you'd go to with your hacks when you were poor? Like at the time, I worked for a little bit at a Jason's Deli, so my hack became going to get their huge regular baked potato and then just go to the salad bar and just fuck it up with everything on the
nice.
inside.
Yes, it's a good hack. I don't know. I also will put. I mean, like I was never poor, you know, or
Right.
like you said that you've grown up poor, and I don't like it would, but my family was cheap, so we would generally do stuff like that.
Okay, I should probably say that
Well,
we weren't poor. We were
yeah.
house poor. We had a
Mhm.
nice house, and then
Yeah.
everything else was check to check, and we were cheap.
Yeah, it's
So
more
that's-
cheap.
yeah.
Well, no, it's just one of those things where some people are like, "Yeah, I'm poor too," and I'm like, "I'm sorry, I don't have the same experience." Like it's, you know what I'm saying? Like it was
Yeah.
one
To
of
be
those
honest,
things.
you said Kansas, and I just assumed.
That's fine. Well, because I also had friends that would be like, we would do sports together, and they would have to pick and choose what sports that they wanted to do. Whereas, like, I could do all the sports, right? It didn't matter, like things like that. Which, and it's not something of being like, oh my gosh, I was so like, no,
Right.
it's just everyone.
We just weren't well off.
Yeah, or whatever the case may be,
Right.
and so it's it's one of those things where we would do my mom had so many different things where she would like I know this is a common one, but this one always drove me nuts. Where we would have juice, and then she'd pour water in it, and then she would keep juice containers, and then just what I'm saying. We would have 2 things of juice. It's one thing of juice with water in it, like
Right.
or like chocolate milk. She would pour we'd get regular milk, and then she'd pour like a little bit of Sunday mixture, and she's like, "It's chocolate milk," and I'm like, "It's not the same. Buy a bottle of chocolate milk, please. Buy a bottle." And she'd be like, "No, you don't need it. You don't."
Was Ovaltine ever a thing in y'all's house?
No, actually.
Okay,
But
like, will you
also
look
my
up
mom's
Ovaltine?
very particular when it comes to food. So like we
Oh.
never had to eat liver because she absolutely hates liver.
Those were
So-
nice. Those ones that
yeah.
you like. My mom was lima beans.
Oh, really?
And she told me, like, you'll never have to eat a lima
Mhm.
bean or a pea. I'm like, you were going to force me to eat a lima bean?
What?
What's wrong with you?
Yeah. Actually, it was we were talking about weight with everything. Like when I was in high school and my mom would be like, "You need to watch your weight." I would be like, "Mom, you forced me into this." Because I used to, when I was a child, I wanted vegetables everywhere. But my mom would be like, "I don't want to cook make you vegetables. Let's just go get McDonald's." And I'm like, "You did this to me."
That's so great that you have that aspect. Like, you get to play that in. And like, I was good.
I wanted broccoli and cheese every meal for
So-
all of my meals.
That's weird because that was a big thing of mine too. Like, I had to do it
Mhm.
specific. I had to cook it too long so it was burnt
Oh,
because I
really?
needed some of that char to it.
I
But
get
I
that.
ate broccoli with every meal, or it was the meal from like
So
4 to 8.
I think just it's a little I've learned does this a lot, where like you say foods. You
Hyperfixated?
get hyperfixated, and so I always would get hyperfixated on things, and they were always the weirdest things. So as a young child, it would be broccoli with cheese, or there were like canned cherries was a big thing at one point, where that's all I would eat was just canned cherries. I was a fruit person for a while, I guess. I don't know. And
That's
then
weird.
canned mandarin oranges and like canned green bean. It was a lot of canned food for some reason. I think it was because of all the sodium in it. But
My sister was
Yeah.
a huge, like, I think to this day, we thought she was going to turn into the chick from Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, the blueberry,
Mhm.
because she would literally only eat fruit.
Yeah.
Like, she was going to become a fruit salad.
No, I totally get that as someone that, and it was so funny because there would only be certain foods that I would eat. Like I would make my mom go to the store every like day basically and be like, I need you to get me this specific macaroni salad and then 2 cans of canned cherries, and that's what I'm going to eat for today. I'm not kidding. I would like and she's like, but I'm making a roast, and I'd be like, I don't care. This is what I'm eating today.
That was, yeah. You and my sister were 100% the same.
Really?
Yeah.
It's funny. Yeah. Oh, I'm so mad. The macaroni salad that I was obsessed with, they don't serve anymore. And I went back recently and I was like, oh, I'm so excited. I'm getting this macaroni salad.
The macaroni.
No,
Gone.
it's gone.
That was weird. My sister had a thing where, like, now she only eats pasta, but when she was a kid, she refused to eat pasta.
No, I get that. I mean, there
Really?
was not pasta. I loved. I would eat mainly pasta growing up, but
Yeah.
rice was my thing. So I was the exact opposite. I
She was
wouldn't eat
huge on
rice.
rice.
Nope. So I was the exact opposite. I loved anything with pasta. I would eat. So we had this thing called loblolly, which is another Midwestern, like very old school meal, where it's like American cheese with hamburger, and it's like a hamburger helper.
Right.
But it would be like that, or I would eat like stroganoff, bow tie pasta, mac and cheese, like anything with pasta I would eat. But
'Cause that was just what your mom could do quickly. Like, she could
well, my
throw that
mom
in a
could
pot.
make rice quickly, and I just wouldn't eat it. Again, I was one of those people where I was like, I would rather go to bed hungry than eat this terrible thing that you have given me.
My sister, she did literally the same fucking thing again. Wow.
Yeah.
You are my sister. She didn't eat for 3 days straight once. Like,
Wow.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever gotten that far. But also, I was really good at sneaking food. So it was one of those things where she'd be like, all right, you're going to go to bed hungry. And then I would come up in the middle of the night like a gremlin.
Yeah. You're going to go to bed hungry. Yeah, I'm going to go to bed hungry, and then I'm going to get in bed, and I
Yeah.
got graham crackers. So, fuck
oh,
you,
not
lady.
even graham. Well, there was several times where if I didn't eat or I was hungry in the middle of the night, I would sneak up to my fridge, and then I would just like slowly come in. And I definitely grew up in a munching household, right? Where
Right.
there's a lot of like meat and cheese and like little small stuff that like apples and peanut butter was a snack all the time.
Staple,
right?
yeah.
Staple. So I would just go in and I'd grab slices of American cheese, and I would eat like 10 slices of American cheese, and that would be my dinner.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. My favorite meal of all time was when my mom, it was right after Thanksgiving, so we had a bunch of leftovers, and my mom left to go do some family thing. I had to stay home, so I was home alone. So for my lunch, I ate. She was going to have it for some reason, so she had cooked it all up that morning. I ate a full pound of bacon
Oh my god.
Oh, my God.
and a half a cheesecake. My absolute favorite meal of all time.
And you weren't high or anything?
No, I was a child. I was
It's
like
even
11
worse.
years old. I was
That's
like 11 or
amazing.
12. My favorite meal of all time.
I think once, and this was definitely my favorite meal, on par, I ate an entire gallon in one sitting of butter pecan bluebell ice cream.
Oh, that sounds so good.
Oh, God, it was, like, looking back, I was definitely high.
Yeah.
But, like,
See, I also did no drugs in high school, like anything. I
neither.
was such a, I mean, it was so funny because I wanted to rebel against my mom so much, but also I knew better. It was one of those things where I'm just
Yeah.
like, I'm going to rebel in my own way.
yeah, you knew about consequences. Like,
Yeah.
I was one of few people that ever, like, seemed to know, like, oh, if I do this, I won't get to do this. Like, so I'm not.
I'm not going to do that. Yeah.
No, I didn't have alcohol until college, same thing. And then
Yeah, more college, yeah.
and then weed, I didn't even do that till my sophomore year of college.
Well, what's so funny is that I actually drank more. And okay, well, you know, when you're 20 and you want to drink and you do all that kind of stuff, because it was such a scarcity, I would try to see, like, whenever I could get booze, I would drink a lot of it, right? So I drank a lot more when I was 20 than I have ever as an adult.
Yeah, it's that was I had a therapist tell me that, and that sounded like what I would do with sweets because there was such a scarcity of it. You didn't know when you were going to get it again, so you just
always
filled your face with it.
So that's why the whole half a cheesecake thing, because if I didn't eat that, my sister was going to eat it when she got home. Exactly. It happened every single time.
Thank you.
Yeah, no, I did the exact same thing. When I went home for this past time, my mom made me another cheesecake because it's my favorite food of all time. And she'd be like, yeah, and she's so used to me eating a lot of it. I only had 2 slices of the whole thing. And she's like, why did I make this? And I went, because I
still like it.
I still love it, but I can make this anytime I want to now. I don't have to.
Right.
It's no longer a special occasion because she would make it twice a year. Once for Thanksgiving, once for Christmas.
Right.
So that was the only time I got to eat it. Now, if I want it, I have the recipe.
That's a huge thing that like as soon as my therapist pointed that out to me, in that I was never allowed to have sweets other than special occasions or if something bad in our round life happened. That was my cheer 'em up thing. Is let's go get a brownie or something. And so now I'm just conditioned for that level of dopamine. It's like anytime 100%. I'm sad or it's a good thing, I have to have a treat.
Oh, yeah. Well, and that's my mom so even though she didn't like cooking, she got really into birthdays and birthday cakes. And so she's like, that was her thing. She made me a sorting hat birthday cake one year.
Oh, that's fucking dope.
Yeah. Like, well, I was also really into Harry Potter. Shocking, I know, because I'm not a nerd. No, I'm such a fucking nerd.
I was too. That's the shocking part is my grandma got me into Harry Potter hard.
Oh, really? Yeah. Well, that was a family, like all of my family read the books, and everybody.
That was our thing. My grandma read all the books, and she was trying to connect with her grandson that liked football. She didn't like football, and you're like, well, here's these movies.
Well, I'm a huge movie person, and so
Same here.
but with Harry Potter, it was so funny because my mom would be like, "You're not allowed to watch this until you read the book," because the book was such a big thing. She loved them. All of my family loved them, and so as I was growing up, I read them at a much earlier age than I probably should have. But it was one of those things where she's like, "You can only watch this movie," and I loved the movies, loved the books.
Were your parents not religious at all?
God, no.
Okay.
I mean, they are, but no. I mean, it's one of those things where that whole witchcraft was fine.
Yeah. So
no big deal.
That was always a weird because I didn't grow up religious. My mom is Facebook religious, but dad is hardcore atheist.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah. And to the point where, like, I was 8 years old, and he's like, "Hey, you ever heard of the story of the Greek goddess Echo?" I was like, "No, I'm 7 or 8."
Yeah.
And he's like, "Well, it's apparently the story of Greek goddess Echo. People would walk to cavernous spaces and yell out to her, and she would repeat in your voice exactly what you said." And I was like, "Oh, it sounds like an echo."
Yeah.
And he's like, "Yeah, sounds like they were making up shit that they didn't understand, huh?"
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, "Yeah." And he goes, "Jesus." I go, "Oh." I was like, "Fuck."
No. Jesus was a real person. I have actually placed my hand on his deathbed. So.
Oh, well, that's pretty neat.
You can do that in Israel. So there's obviously in Jerusalem a lot of very holy places. So yeah,
Right.
I've touched where Jesus is laid.
Whoa.
I know.
Now time to get laid by Jesus.
Nailed
That's just
it.
for me,
Nailed
not you.
it. Yeah. Gee.
What are we talking about?
I don't know. We go off on tangents, which is
we
fun.
do. This is why we're so good at this.
That's great.
They're not religious.
Oh yeah, your dad's not religious. Yeah, he's atheist.
Neither of them were religious whatsoever, and I grew up with no religious foundation,
Okay.
and you like, I always thought it was so weird how many of my friends that were religious that also couldn't watch SpongeBob. Or also couldn't watch
That was a very big trope.
Harry Potter.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was a big one. I was like, what was the thing with SpongeBob?
Yeah.
And I'm looking back now, there's people that are like, oh, parents thought SpongeBob and Patrick were gay. So they're like, no,
So
they're not
weird.
going to promote that. And looking back, I kind of get it a little bit. But
well, but if you go back and
SpongeBob
watch
and Patrick being gay, not fucking, yeah.
SpongeBob.
Caught that myself.
Yeah.
Woo.
No, but I mean, even if you go back now and like look at some of the stuff that was happening, like in some of the older TV shows and things like that, like there are so many fucked up things that were happening at that point where it's just like, this is fine, but this isn't fine.
Right.
What?
Yeah. Or you hear about like, there was some sort of movie where it was pronounced for being super historically accurate, and then I watched it. It was set in the 1700s, and there were black people in it, and they weren't, for lack of better terms, they weren't slaves. I was like, hey, that's not historically accurate.
Yeah.
But then there was also like, why are you being historically accurate about some things and woke about some things,
See,
but you're still talking about like beating women constantly in the movie?
Well, that's why like I do enjoy Bridgerton or like those kind of pieces
I
where
was
it's
just told to watch Bridgerton.
Bridgerton's great. I really enjoy it, and that's it. They don't have the trope of like black people always being the servants and this and that. Like they're royalty, right?
I don't mind that at all because play it in. Who gives a shit?
Yeah.
But it's the thing like, why are they so certain on one thing and not like?
Well, so they made sure to like fashion was really big for that show. So they made sure that like that Queen Victoria is still stuck in this era because of her husband and because of this, but then everybody else is in a different type of dress and a different type of thing. So they're very specific on that.
Gotcha.
But I'm with you where it's just like, okay, so we have to be so specific on this fashion choice.
Right.
But then and also, why do we have to be historically accurate anymore? I don't understand. Like, to me, it doesn't matter anymore, right?
It doesn't matter. It's the part where, like, it doesn't matter, but it does start to piss me off in that they use that as marketability.
Oh, like this is so,
Yeah, it's just like, this is the wokest thing in the world. We're doing good things. We're changing
everything's
things.
gay now.
Yeah, I don't care. But, I mean, my uncle, we were hanging out for Christmas.
Yeah.
And he walked out of the living room like, everything on TV is a gay person now.
Yeah.
And I was like, what is he saying? And then I looked over, I'm like, oh yeah, this is the first time I've definitely ever noticed two gay men kissing on TV before.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was like, huh.
Yeah. But no, it is true that now it's not really, because there for a minute it was very edgy if you had like gay people in the scene or there was a lesbian scene, but now it's like there's a lot more.
Yeah, something
which
like
is good. I think it's a
great thing.
It's a good thing. Yeah.
But over exaggerating and over saturating is not what's going to be good.
Well, no, because then it just becomes mainstream, or
it becomes mainstream, and then it gives those people that are just homophobes or all that a different avenue. Yeah, you're like, now it's all I fucking see.
Yeah.
And you're like, well, if it was
watch Yellowstone, Yeah. watch something that's
watch something else. Go back and watch Sands of Iwo Jima, John Wayne box collection, you old shit.
Yeah.
But
let's bring that back. No.
Yeah. What was it? Euphoria? There was something like there was like one straight character on the set. Or not on the set, on the show. I was like, I mean, assalamu alaikum, who gives a shit? But not everyone is some sort of gay. Like, there's going to be regular straight people in this, too. Yeah. I mean, we've served our penance. We give them all the creative stuff now, but now everything's getting...
Well, I mean, if you look at California, right, that's where all of the most stuff is filmed, is in that kind of area and stuff. And yeah, and that's it. People want to emulate what's kind of happening in society today. Now it's like really like... everybody can be whatever they kind of want to be, right?
Yeah.
Like, it's full, like, now instead of arguing about gay rights, it's trans rights. So we've moved on in a lot of things. It's just the next
step.
And it's going to continue. There's going to be building. Yeah.
It's going to continue, but in the same way that it's going to continue, it's also not going to matter.
Exactly. Yeah.
Like, at the end of the day, whether I was 8 years old and gay rights weren't as talked about then, or it's now, either way, I didn't have a problem with gay people.
No.
And, like, the more and more people talked about it, it seemed like they were trying to build sides. I'm like, I'm 8. I have no side
We're
right
always
now.
building sides, right?
Yeah.
That's why, like, Republican versus Democrat, everyone's doing, like, the most extreme that they possibly can to be like, I'm not a part of that. I'm a part of this club. Like, this is.
Well, and now you have someone, like, old Blake over there is a big proponent of him, but RFK, I don't really know a whole lot of what he stands on.
Are you an RFK guy?
I just think it's funny that we're going to have the biggest growth in independence. Like, that's going to be the next thing. I don't necessarily know anything about RFK. He could be a jackwagon. He could be God. But if...
everybody's off their rocker.
Right. But if an independent gets 25% of the votes, that's going to be a whole new thing that changes everything.
No, I would love to have an independent win. Like, don't get me wrong. I would love it. But I don't know much about RFK. But the stuff that I do know about him is just funny to me. I mean, same thing with everyone has their weird stuff.
They're all cartoon characters.
They are.
They are.
No, I'm totally with you
They're all
on that.
made dudes.
Yeah, you need to check out. I will show you a podcast after this. A friend of mine from Charleston has a podcast, and she's hell bent on RFK right now.
Really?
And she has a health podcast where she talks about yoga and about like she brings on health gurus and they talk about like the most woo-woo stuff I've ever heard of in my entire life. But it's fascinating, right?
If you really want to dig deep into him, watch his podcast with Rogan. He did probably 6 months ago.
Okay.
Yeah, it will blow your mind.
I watched the one where he did with Whitney Cummings.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he was on Whitney
he went on
Cummings'
Whitney's.
podcast. Yeah,
That's
it was really cool actually. It was interesting. Also, I love Whitney Cummings' podcast.
Whitney's
That's
awesome.
great. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, even the brief synopsis you gave me on RFK, it seems a little out there for something I would vote for, but in comparison to Trump or Biden, he's not out there at all. Like, he's
Exactly.
just a
Yeah.
fucking...
Yeah.
He's not a wackadoo because everyone else is so fucking crazy already.
I think everybody's
He's
a
just a
wackadoo.
dingbat, baby. Oh, the sign's not there
I
anymore.
think he's a
Fuck.
different type of wackadoo, right?
Yeah.
They're all wackadoos. So
He's either the greatest liar of all time,
Yeah.
or he's telling the truth. That's
Right.
the way I see it.
I don't know. I hate everybody.
Yeah.
Gotta be honest. it's not-
Until some sort of government official comes knocking on my door, I don't give a shit.
yeah.
You can't really change a whole lot of my day-to-day.
Mm-hmm.
He's just the first candidate I've been able to vote for where I'm like, I actually kind of, my ideas align with this guy.
It's great. I've never voted.
Yeah, I haven't either.
Yeah.
Because it's like,
I mean, even still, I probably won't. I just, whatever.
I think I voted once, but it was in college, and I went through and I voted for, like, the city stuff,
Mm-hmm.
and then I just left Trump and Biden blank. I was like, I don't even care.
No. Well, and somehow I got on some kind of Nikki Haley text chain. I think it's because
Really?
I was making fun of her on stage, and so somehow now
Someone put your number in?
Yeah, I guess so. I'm not sure. I had a joke about how she wants to raise to 70 the retirement age.
Oh, I thought you were going to say taxes. What the
No.
fuck?
Retirement age. But then I started getting like, she's gonna be in Dallas in like 2 days, but make sure you're there. And I'm like, fuck that, dude. What?
Good.
No.
Is she coming to Dallas Comedy Club? Like fucking.
But she was coming to Dallas a while ago, and I got like 3 text messages in a row about it, and I was like, unsubscribe, get me
get
off this
that.
chain.
I get that with all of like state representatives. I've gotten.
Oh, really?
I'm surprised that I'm allowed to get texts from Beto and
Beto, what is that?
wheelchair
No
guy.
idea. Also, I got
Greg Abbott.
I know.
Like,
got it.
I get texts from both of them. I'm like, how am I allowed to get both?
I
That's
thought you meant
bullshit.
like Bezos. I was like, Bezos is in a wheelchair? What?
No. Yeah, I would like, do you want to support Beto? And then I'd say no, unsubscribe. And then I'd get, do you want to support Greg Abbott? I'm like, no, I don't want to support
I don't want to support
any.
anybody. Yeah.
Or the policeman's ball pisses me off. Have you ever gotten that call?
No, but also I never majored in criminal justice, so
Fair enough. I do seem like a lobbyist for them, but
yes,
um,
yes, you do.
but now every time they call, do you want to support the policeman's ball? I'm like, no, I want to take your money.
I think there for a minute and maybe I'm mistaking you for another white male straight comic.
Very possible.
But I think there for a
That's
minute.
racist.
Yes. You were going up on stage and you were talking about cops, but then you were like kind of trying to be like, isn't that weird? And everyone's like, no, you look like a cop.
No, because I'm pretty like.
Okay, that may not have been you, but I do remember that specifically. But I do. The one thing that I do
It might
remember.
be Mike Tribby.
Oh, it could have been. Yeah.
Mike Tribby. That's a big
No,
staple of
he
his
has
thing.
that joke of like I look like a cop, but
Yeah.
no, he actually
No, he
said that. Yeah.
He's got a good joke about it. Yeah. Like I've brought it up once in conversation with comics that was my major, and they got weird. I'm like,
Then you don't want to talk about it.
I don't want
anymore.
to talk about it, and I haven't sat down to write anything yet because the only funny thing is that I cheated the whole time and still got my major, and the idea that I was almost a cop is
a
just
lot.
cheating, and that I know plenty of people that are cops now that did cheat alongside. I taught them how to cheat.
Yeah.
I would tutor people allegedly how to cheat.
Never happened.
Never happened. Never happened. Check my grades.
Just deny.
Yeah, if I was cheating, would I have got C's in classes? Allegedly.
Yes.
Yeah. You had to make some look real.
Yeah, that's true. Well, and that's like when people, because everybody I feel like knows the guy that would always take tests for people just for money and stuff like that. And
that was me with chemistry, surprisingly.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's shocking. Oh, I was terrible at science. Science was like, if it had a math component, like equaling out the stuff like that, oh, great, love it. But if it had nothing else to do with math, no, I'm not.
So I was really good at specifically algebra. Like there's the whole thing there. If you're good at algebra, you're probably bad at geometry or calculus or whatever it was.
Oh, I was terrible at trig, but I was good at algebra.
Yeah, my dad told me early on that algebra was just a puzzle. You just solve for X. I was like, that makes it so much easier.
Oh yeah, it's like a logic puzzle. I love logic puzzles. I love logic puzzles.
Word problems. I'm such a.
I am
dork.
an old lady when it comes to like Sudoku.
I still play.
I love Sudoku.
Love Sudoku, yes.
I still have it on my phone. I have to click expert, and if anyone catches me,
Yeah.
like I'm less ashamed when people catch me playing on level 5,000 of Candy Crush than I am
Really?
when people catch me playing Sudoku.
That is hysterical.
I would
I would judge you more for Candy Crush, but that's because I love Sudoku. So
I just can never give up my candy, bro. Level 5,000 never stopped.
wow.
I know. I'm really worried that I'm like the top player. Like that would make me feel so bad.
There should be some kind of board that tells you that or not.
Like,
Who
you're
are
number
the top
4.
players.
Like,
Yeah.
oh my god.
No, that makes sense.
I'm number 4.
I get in weird waves when it comes to games. Like I'm right now, and it's always like a generation behind. I'm into Pokemon Go right now, right?
Oh
Which-
my god, that was like
I
that
know,
was 5
it's-
years ago.
I know.
I was in the military when that thing was big.
Yes, and so I'm but like it's one of the easiest games to play while you're walking to a comedy club, while you're on the like whatever the case may be. It's like it's the easiest thing to just pull out. Let me
And I
catch
mean,
some Pokemon real quick.
talk about how nerdy and dorky it was, but it had nerds and dorks alike everywhere walking.
Yes, so
Nothing was making a move
it
beforehand.
had a lot of good things, and that's it. I mean, and waves with food, waves with games. It's gonna go away in like
Right.
2 days, right?
Have you seen this thing on the TikTok shop where they have the it's basically an old school Game Boy, but they preloaded it with all the old Game Boy
Oh yeah, I've
games.
seen
No.
that. Yeah.
It's like $100, but it has 14,000 video games on it.
Wow.
Well, somebody was telling me that the entire Game Boy archive
Mhm.
is only 16 gigabytes.
Really?
That's
That's it.
With Pokemon? That
Yeah.
game felt like it was humongous.
Yep.
Yeah.
Just back then, like
That's crazy.
So what I need, any gamer out there, what I need you to create is to have a up to date console, one of the Xbox, the PlayStation, whatever. Have the old Sega game, Bug.
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 I don't even remember that game.
Oh my
Blake,
god,
will you pull that up for me, please?
it is so much fun, and that the problem is it's on a Saturn. I don't own the Saturn that I had as a child growing up because that was my sister's or my cousin's or one of them. Anyway, I used to love playing this game. I never made it past level 3. Never made it past level 3.
Oh.
It's not even going to come up. It's one of the first. It was a Japanese, one of the first like 3D games or something like that. Yeah.
this one.
Oh, I had one that kind of looked like that
Yes.
called Roaches, but
Oh,
it
it
was
was
just
so
shooting
good.
roaches.
But yeah, it's a 3D platform game. And man, that took up a large amount of my childhood. And the problem is I have never been able to find it again. And I
Right.
don't, and yeah. But man, if they could put that on an Xbox, I would buy the latest update. Like I have my latest is Xbox 360. I would buy the newest version just to play Bug. Like
That's so funny.
no,
There were a couple
it's-
old, like if anyone ever put
Oh
any
my
sort
gosh.
of time into, wow,
it's
God, that's
so
such
much
a
fun.
throwback.
Oh, I'm having so many memories. This is great.
It's like 3D Mario.
Yeah. No, that's basically what it was. It's you're a bug and you're killing bugs and you're trying to get gems and bug juice. So you will sometimes get bug juice, which is your life, right? And so if you get hit, it gets bug juice. And every level has 3 levels within it, or checkpoints that you got to go through. And man, the other really cool thing about this is that when in up-to-date games now, you have save progress, right?
Right.
That didn't. Nope. You get your lives. You're done.
Oh
Yeah.
shit.
You're done.
I
And
would
it would take me an hour to get through certain levels. Yeah.
I remember my mom would fucking come upstairs and whoop my ass because
Mhm.
she would find out I was leaving my PS2 on because it was the same thing. I didn't
Oh,
have
yeah.
the save progress.
Mhm.
It's gotta.
Yep.
I'm so far in Guitar Hero. I've got new songs that I've never got before.
Yeah.
Oh man, I miss the old school Guitar Hero days and
Mhm.
shit like that. Like the only reason I really got friends in college was because I brought with me was
Games.
Rock Band.
Nice.
Yeah, so we'd sit in the common area and I'd
Yeah.
play the drums and everyone else would play the
Mhm.
guitar. Girls would get drunk and then sing. That was the only way you could get anyone to sing, as if it was a drunk lady.
Okay. Sure. Yeah. That makes sense.
And I mean, there were people that knew me around campus as Rock Band guy.
Mhm.
I'm like, can
Yeah,
anyone
yeah,
learn
Rock-
my name? You want to talk to me when I don't have Rock Band?
That's fun.
And then I snapped the blue paddle off, and then no one ever talked to me again. No,
Aw. Then he gained 100 pounds.
probably not that far
Ugh.
far off.
There you go.
I need that chocolate cake. But I feel like that's a great place to land for today because I'm also
Sure.
sweating my ass off. But this has been very fun to talk to you, Kinsey. I
Great.
cannot wait for this next episode to happen with you and Chris
he's
and
never, He's never gonna come. He's gonna forget about it again. That's what's gonna happen.
and then we'll just have another solo episode with
Sure.
our resident feature Kinsey
Yeah.
Ford. Will you plug up your socials for us, please?
Oh yeah, I'm Kinsey, found on Road Dead.
Heyo.
Because my last name is Ford. I have to say that now because
People get worried.
People get so worried. They're like, "You're not gonna." No, I'm not. I'm just the fun.
It's just a funny haha, guys.
Yeah. So.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for coming back out with all the up in the air. But we did a 2.5-hour episode, just
Really?
about 2 hours
This
and
is the
15 minutes.
longest episode.
Hell yeah, this
My
has been
bad.
very fun.
Don't. Well, we have to like cut like several bits
Oh,
of it,
that
right?
is
we do have
true.
to just a
There's
little
gonna
bit,
be like
Yeah.
chunks of 30 minutes missing. So
and then just something out of context.
yeah, it'll be just a quick tag. Wait, what do you mean, male feminist?
Hey.
I don't.
But we will know.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
And fuck your bookers. All right. Thank y'all so much, and keep watching the Dingbat District podcast. We've got more episodes coming out every week, and soon to be on Rumble as well. Y'all check out that platform so we don't get in trouble anymore. Thank you so much. Keep watching, and goodbye.
I have no idea what that means.